Fred, Cisco!
Sactown Sports.
It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. For the first time in 2024, Stiles and Watkins taking you up to 2 p.m. Nate Littlefield behind the glass. Thank you, Nate, for everything that you've done already and are about to do for us over the next 4 hours. We have Chris Beerman at 11 o'clock, Candlestick Chronicles. Also for the Sacramento Bee, talking Kings and Niners. We are talking Niners as they clinch the number 1 seed without really having to do too much. I was personally looking forward to a showdown next week with the Rams, but you got to take it how you can get it. And because the Eagles managed to trick off a game to the Cardinals, the Niners and the playoffs are going to run through San Francisco / Santa Clara. Kings, we talk a lot about Coach Mike Brown on this show. The Kings make a lineup change. What did you think about that? And we'll get you ready for Kings Hornets. We'll let you know who's playing. Not a lot of guys, as we talked about on the crosstalk with Dave and Jason. Think the Kings need to get it done. They need to get it done. Chris Watkins, How are you doing? Happy New Year. All of that jazz.
Yes, Happy New Year. Glad to be here. Glad that we made it through 2024. And so far, minimal L's in 2024. I'm sorry. I said we made it through 2024. Let me not get ahead of ourselves. Made it through 2023 and 2024. Still no L's. So we're going to try and hold on to that as long as possible.
Yeah, and look, what the Kings did to the Grizzlies, I don't know if anybody saw that coming, and this is what gets so confusing when we have the trade machine out, because then they show up like this, and you think, maybe I can put that thing away, and that's why I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do this week. I know you're high on the Magic. They're playing well. You're coming off a back-to-back, but the Magic will also be coming off a back-to-back too,
so,
right?
Yeah, I believe
because I think they play tonight.
Yeah, I think they're playing Golden State tonight.
You got to get one of these. You got to get one of these, and it starts with taking care of business against the Hornets and going on from there. We'll talk about, obviously, OG Anunoby finally got moved. He is no longer in Toronto. Masai finally gave up one of his assets off to the Knicks, and who won that trade? OG already an immediate impact. I purposely watched that game with OG and the Knicks, and it's everything that we kind of talked about. I mean, the defense, he shows up, and it was the T-Wolves. So, hey, shows up, somebody made a joke, OG hasn't even unpacked yet, and he says, go guard Anthony Edwards. So you have that going on. Exactly. He's playing minutes. He's doing his thing. He's been that kind of dunker threat and really adding to that offense already, and defense, of course. So now that you know what the price tag is, that was for OG Anunoby, and we know the contract situation with Pascal Siakam might change some things because he's a pure rental now. Yeah. So maybe Masai Ujiri might be willing to lessen the price because, hey, man, I don't know if he's going to re-sign. What are we going to do here? Maybe he doesn't do anything. There's a word on the street that the Knicks aren't done either. So we'll get into all of that. And you know what? I actually want to take some time later on in the show to talk about the bowl games, because Chris and I joke about the bowl games and I guess college sports a lot on this show. March Madness around the corner now. It's almost time. Kind of it. I mean, seriously, we're going to blink. And, you know, a lot of people had some things to say about the opt-outs and the transfer portal and how it's ruining college and nobody wants to play anymore. Well, they're already getting paid. And I had some back and forth on social media. So we'll get into that, man. And honestly, it was really weird. I don't know if it's because of the transfer portal, but typically, and okay, I got the kiddo now, so I'm not sitting in front of the TV as long. But in years past, I would fire up the Meineke Bowl. Don't care about either team. I'd watch. This year, for some reason, I did not care at all.
No, I mean, I feel you on that. Like, I didn't, like you, like, I probably even watch less than what you're talking about. Like, I'll peek in for quarter or two if there's two teams that I like, or if I know that, hey, you know, USC is playing in a meaningless bowl, but this is going to be Caleb Williams' last game before entering the pros. He's probably going to try and go crazy, or here's the last view of him, or I haven't gotten to see, Jaden Daniels throw too much. Now would be a great opportunity to see it. Like that little seed doesn't even exist in my brain anymore. And so, I see, Iowa versus Tennessee. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to watch this game. There's just no chance. And so, I think that in that sense, that's kind of an unintended consequence of this transfer portal is, if no one's going to play it was already before transfers, people wouldn't play in bowl games to try and hold their NFL stock. But now it feels like now you're just adding another reason to not play. It's not only let me hold my NFL stock. It's I'm already planning to transfer. Let me not get hurt. I already got this situated. I already know I'm leaving here. So what am I going to play this one game for? It's completely changed everything. And it really does kill the allure of just tuning in casually for those New Year's Eve or New Year's Day bowl games.
Did you guys not watch the playoff games though? Do you guys?
I watched the playoff games. I watched the playoff games.
I just mean those are great.
Those were great. But the lesser ones, I would still watch in years past, and I just had no.
I would always just watch the Rose Bowl just because it's the Rose Bowl, not because it's part of.
They've definitely gotten me. I'm still not a big college guy, but the playoffs. The past 8 years have been awesome, and I'm all for an expansion. I know a lot of people aren't, but I think 12 would be rad.
You got to get more teams.
Yeah, awesome. I'm definitely in for an expansion. And here's the thing too, as everybody kind of complains about the bowls, the way I see it is college football should be just thanking their lucky stars that they were able to sell and continue to be able to sell exhibition games that mean absolutely nothing and make millions of dollars off of them. In what other sport do you just have one final game that doesn't mean anything, but you're trying to excite either your team or a fan base to watch? Now, a team, we haven't been to a bowl game in 20 years. That's all fine and good. Yeah. But besides that, my question is, maybe some of these kids aren't even getting drafted. They might be saying, I'm opting out because I'm about to enter the transfer portal. Right. And I don't want to mess that up too. These games mean absolutely nothing. They never have. So unless college football is going to start breaking these kids off, and I know somebody's going to type in right now saying, well, they're getting NIL. They're still not getting paid to play. Yeah. And if you want to talk about, they're getting college tuition, you're not wrong, but that is about 1/16 of what these schools are making. So I would make the argument and say once those kids step on the field for 3-4 games, they've already paid back their little $50,000 tuitions because these people are making millions. Yeah, absolutely.
And they're filling the state. Like they're the reason why they're there. So
and even if they're opt-outs, these fans that are real deal college fans, they're using it now to see, I know it was a freshman quarterback for Tennessee. Okay, let's see what our future looks like. Of course. So there always will be a selling point. But the idea of, I just think unless they're going to pay these kids, we have moved past, I don't know why Meineke is just in my mind. The Meineke Bowl.
I know, this was how about the Pop-Tarts Bowl?
Yes,
how about the
Pop-Tart Bowl?
Bowl?
Yes, that was the best Cheez-It Bowl I've ever watched. It was a duel of two guys going to the pros because those dudes are just not going to play.
Yeah, no,
they're not going to play.
Yeah, it doesn't that allure doesn't really exist anymore, and I don't know how college football fixes it. Yeah, maybe those bowls can, instead of just collecting all that money, maybe they do set aside a little stipend for the players or for the winning team or something like that. But to me, there's no way any of these kids are going to, especially because they are kids and they still haven't made it to the professional levels. They're always going to look out for themselves, and I don't blame them. No. Like they're just trying to get to the end goal, and that's to the NFL. And if they feel like not playing in this, like you said, this exhibition pointless game, it's not going to do anything for them. Why? What incentive do they have to play? There's really none. What incentive do we have besides just, popularity or maybe upping your draft stock through getting an exciting matchup? But how are you going to get those two quarterbacks that aren't in the college football playoff system? How are you going to get them to feel the importance of playing and showing off, or having a show out game against each other? I don't know how you convince them to do it.
No, I don't either. And we will get back into this around 1:00, really do a deep dive because I do love college and college sports, but it just, I don't know if something's broken or if this is just a new frontier. So,
I mean, and how much of this, to Nate's question also, how much of this changes or we just don't think about once they do expand the playoffs? Because if there is 12 teams in a conference,
you don't need the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
No, yeah. And
you can have it.
No one's going to sit out those games. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. If people start doing that, then
we got a story.
Is really in for it. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll get back into it as we talk about the Kings and the lineup change. Now we're going to do the deepest of dives on this, but the Kings, they finally do it. Okay. You go with Chris Duarte and give me the rundown, Chris. You're doing your thing. You're getting ready for your post game, which was outstanding as always. Well, you didn't do it against the Grizz, but you had it going against the Hawks. Yeah. So you always have that, and we're back now. We're all fully back. Yep. So you're sitting, you're chilling. Okay, I got the night off. I'm getting ready for my disco party, and the news breaks.
Disco ball party.
Disco ball party.
Okay. There's a difference between disco party and disco ball party.
You can elaborate.
There's a difference.
We can elaborate after the break. You see the move, and what were your first thoughts?
I mean, it was. I was surprised that it actually happened. It obviously, I think, Kevin Huerter's play has justified the move itself, but whether or not it was actually going to get executed, I think was, I didn't see any indication that it was going to happen. So I was surprised by seeing it happen. I wasn't super surprised that it was Duarte. I know we've had the conversation of, is this the time to kind of, put your own feelings aside, Mike Brown, and just put Malik into that starting lineup. Yeah. Wasn't surprised to see that it was Duarte, but the actual execution of it, I thought was interesting. I think it's only fair to give Duarte, 4 or 5 more games to kind of get into a rhythm with that lineup, but didn't feel like he made that big of an impact, especially to start the actual game itself. But I think eventually he kind of found a bit of a rhythm just in terms of playing more too. I mean, when you're in the starting lineup, you're probably going to get 24 minutes or so guaranteed. And so you just allow yourself to get into more of a rhythm. Duarte's been playing, anywhere from one rotation of, 5 minutes to, 2 or 3 of 15, but to actually get that full run, you can kind of see him get a little bit comfortable. And I don't know, I didn't hate it, but I don't think that, we're leaving, after New Year's and saying, wow, the Kings just, that's a puzzle piece that just fit perfectly into place. And now the rest of the year we can rock with that. I think there's still a bit more that I want to see to be fully convinced that this is definitely the right move. I thought defensively it was good though.
And again, who is going to be in the lineup, in that starting lineup, that's going to allow these guys consistent play?
That's the big one.
That's why today I know there's a bunch of guys out, LaMelo, Gordon Hayward. I know they're guys out, but you rock and roll here, and dare I say you win tomorrow. Okay, this is something that we've seen, but not the same way. It's been, you play really good on New Year's, and I don't know that they would lose today, but they would definitely lose tomorrow. Right. That's what we've been seeing.
The letdown game is coming.
The letdown game is coming.
If we're going to continue this path.
Exactly. And there was a texter on the line before the break. And again, 916-339-1140 if you want to be a part of the conversation. Shout out to the Sac Chat holding it down for the first show of 2024. And there was a texter I remember we went back and forth with because the texter said Chris Duarte needs more minutes. And I don't think that, from what I had seen from Chris Duarte, I didn't really see this coming. Yeah. And I know you said you're not necessarily positive that it's going to stay like this, but I do think that he brings something. I don't know if it's a matter of what Chris Duarte brings or what Kevin Huerter wasn't bringing.
Right.
That's what is going to reveal itself within these next couple games, however long this whole thing lasts. Yeah. Is it that Chris Duarte is the right piece, or was it simply that Kevin Huerter wasn't the right piece? And we just need to figure out who that piece is, if that piece is even on the roster at this point in time. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, a little bit of Niners talk as they clinch the number 1 seed. Who can stand in their way? I'm not sure that there is a team. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Sactown Sports.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. We will be joined by Chris Beerman at 11, as we are joined every week. Candlestick Chronicles, Sacramento Bee, talking Kings. He was with the Kings on their most recent road trip. So what? So he was in Memphis.
He was in Memphis. Oh, yeah.
For New Year's.
Yeah. I asked him about it before he made the trip, and he seemed mildly excited by it, but it was kind of tough because it was a 5 o'clock start here, 7 o'clock start in Memphis. He kind of got. I'm actually we'll figure it out at 11, but sounded like he was going to end up cutting it close and probably end up partying downtown. I saw the Kings. Kings ended up celebrating New Year's on the plane.
Yeah.
So can only imagine how Biederman spent his New Year's.
And I know downtown Memphis, whatever name that they have for it.
Right?
Well, I'm sure they really wanted that W. I'm sure it didn't stop them.
Yeah. Oh no.
But it really felt like they took the air out of it. I mean, you can look at the faces on that Malik alley-oop. People were ready to celebrate, beat the Kings, and then go out and party.
It's Jaw season.
And another matchup against an elite point guard with De'Aaron Fox going up against Ja Morant, and De'Aaron did his thing. You know what I mean? The whole team did their thing. You look, Ja Morant only had 17, De'Aaron only had 24, but it was a blowout, so there was no need to go back and forth and try to stat pad. So good on De'Aaron for showing up, and of course Malik Monk with a bunch of family and friends in town.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
Oh, I was trying to find this article yesterday, and I never ended up finding it, but I do remember a good bit of it because I remember when I read it, I was just absolutely just floored by it. Apparently, there is like a dark underbelly of athletes in general having to buy tickets for their family members when they come to games. I guess every team is allotted, 3 to 5, whatever, I don't know, 2 to 4 tickets for, any, your parents are in town or whatever. You got a girl, whatever.
I was thinking about that watching the Texas this weekend. Like the quarterback's parents are like deep in the crowd, like in the middle of nowhere. Like, how are they not hooked up for that bowl, like on the biggest second, top 3 college game of the year? Doesn't make sense.
Allegedly, it is that, the team is only allowed or given a certain handful of tickets to be given out. However, staff, whatever, there's no special treatment for quarterbacks, anybody. And so what ends up happening is people end up having to just buy the seats at face value themselves. And there's like a whole, Paul George goes back to LA and, goes with the Clippers.
Yeah.
Well, now all of a sudden, every single game, he's buying $3,000 worth of tickets for 41 home games to people who might not show up, might leave at halftime, might just be there to flex. He doesn't even really care about, what. And so I heard Mark Jones on the broadcast say Malik had 40 family and friends there. And my first thought was, this fool just spent like $5,000 on New Year's Day of course it's the only time his family can go see him, but I cannot imagine. And nobody thinks about it either. Of course, nobody asks like, oh, how did Malik get these tickets? It's always just, oh yeah, you're going to get me tickets, right?
Mhm.
And,
Well, he's getting paid in the off season, so he's good.
Yeah.
For sure. You can tell him that if you want.
Well, I think PG's okay too. But yeah, there's some
Yeah, it's more the principle.
It sucks. Yeah, it's
I mean, it's just I mean, we all work in radio. We're all pretty small potatoes in terms of us versus Malik Monk. People ask us for things
really
all
do.
the time.
Yeah,
and
all the
expect,
time.
Oh, you can just get us Kings tickets, right? And I'm like, no,
I can't even
Yeah.
Right. How do you propose I do that?
Yeah.
How do you propose I do that? We just you want to see courtside too?
Yeah, exactly.
Should we do that? Yeah.
You want a handshake with Vivek picture after the game, maybe?
Me, Dearon. We'll go to dinner.
I can hook you up with a picture with drapes.
Yeah,
that's
we can
about
get
it.
you drapes.
That's the kind of goal we got. Yeah, it's
Jason
not bad.
Ross. Yeah, I can
We
get you
can
a
get Jason
handshake
Ross.
with Jay Ross.
You know,
Alan Stiles, I know him.
You
We
can get
call
Alan
him.
Stiles.
We can call him.
I don't know. Price tag going up in
These
2024.
days,
You gotta start a cameo, dude.
I might have to.
Yeah.
Last year's price is not this year's price.
No, dude, you're a new man.
There you go.
You're a new man.
And you know what? The price on Brock Purdy is also going to be different in about a little over a season. So got to end 2024, and then they can start contract extension talks. Right. And I can't wait for those conversations because that is where this whole idea of value and who's pulling the truck and who's the trailer, right? In terms of this Niners offense, that is where this is going to get really interesting. But we don't have to worry about that now. All we got to worry about is the Niners taking care of business because as of yesterday, right? Or maybe 2 days ago, the NFC will run through Santa Clara.
Yeah.
And my goodness, Eagles, the last 3 games, they've been in the lead, and it's funny to me that they're a complete disaster.
Yeah,
they're a mess.
New definition of fumbling the bag. This is
it's
so
a
much
super
worse.
fumble because they're mad at everybody. Sirianni is on some type of hot seat. They're mad at the defense because the defense is trash.
Yeah.
They're mad at Jalen for not being able to score and keep up with the defense because the defense is trash. A.J. Brown seems to have a couple issues going on right now. He can be a little bit excitable in certain situations. So I don't know what is going to happen. I mean, I know what's going to happen with the Eagles. They're done. And I said this weeks ago that they're done.
You did.
And they're done, right? Okay, well, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Now, a couple weeks later, do you still think there could be something hidden in there that they could unlock? Because this is Steichen. Without him, they seen the offense hasn't looked good. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They never hit their stride, ever. Every game has been difficult.
It's not great. I would say no. I'm not saying that there's not maybe something that can flip in the next couple weeks, but I mean, you can't say yes on anything besides just blind faith. Like we asked Kyle Draper later today how he's feeling about his Eagles. Do you still feel confident? And he says yes. It's just faith. That's all
he's going to say yes.
That's all he's got to go off of because you cannot watch these games. You cannot watch these. What has it been? The last month and a week or so. And realistically say, no, we're still playing at a level that I think is Super Bowl worthy. Oh, we just need to kind of get it straight. We need to tighten things up, and we'll get this thing back on track. This is so far beyond that. There's so many deep-rooted issues, and it's not. The problem is when the Eagles were winning, it's not even looked like it looked good.
They haven't rolled once. No. I don't know if they've rolled all season.
No, not once.
Didn't they start the season against the Patriots? And you're thinking,
they did.
They're in New England. It's Foxborough. Okay. Then the next game, all right. Then they almost tricked one off to the Commanders early on in the season. It just hasn't looked good. So bringing it back to the Niners and who out there can challenge the Niners in the NFC, I'm still not impressed by the Cowboys. Nope. I know they won the Fraud Bowl, but then after they won the Fraud Bowl against they lost the Fraud Bowl to the Dolphins.
Right?
And then
got boat raced.
The Dolphins just got destroyed. And then if Dan Campbell wasn't the worst gambler known to man, the Lions could have won that game. So I don't feel good. If I'm a Cowboys fan, I feel nothing. Yeah. Even with Dak being in the MVP race, I don't feel like there is nothing that I've seen from the Cowboys to make me think that the Niners will not boat race them again.
No,
I mean anybody in the NFC.
I hate to say it, but like if you're a Cowboys fan, the thing that you're hoping for at this point is let's get to the conference championship and let's frankly hope that the Niners get hurt in between. Yeah. And that's that's realistically, like, to me, that's the only hope that you have if you're another NFC team, is that by the time the Niners get to the NFC Championship game, maybe they're beat up enough to where you can try and exploit something. But I don't see it in the NFC. I don't see that top level of play that would beat the Niners. Like, it's just not there. Like, because you have to play. It's not just about getting, the Niners on their back. You have to play a full four quarters of a good game, and I can't see that happening against this Niner team right now.
The Eagle, because the Niners, they do have a weak spot, right? And it's not just the secondary can be hot and cold, but really they struggle when teams run the football, right?
Yeah, they've been missing a lot of tackles.
For some reason, and I know that the offense helps with this, but I don't know. Again, the Eagles, DeAndre Swift, he was on my fantasy team when I was still playing. He's fallen off the cliff.
Nothing.
You have the Cowboys, who that used to be their MO. You decide to go with Tony Pollard. He can't do anything. So these top, I guess you can look at the Lions, and you got Montgomery, you got Gibbs, you got some guys.
Sure.
But the Lions can't stop anything. Right. You're not winning a shootout. So I do not see it in the NFC, but who knows? I'm even trying to think of any other teams that would even mess around and be close. But I don't see anybody, at least not in the NFC. And then obviously we know the Ravens, who rolled against the Dolphins. They're cooking right now. And
Lamar seems to have wrapped up that MVP.
I think it's done now. Yeah. I think it's done now. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, breaking down the lineup change from the Kings. Did you like it? Did it make a difference to you? And let's get some calls going. 916-339-1140 on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Get $3 off coupons at Big O Tires and O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Get to the action in Toyota's all-new Tacoma. Visit sportsexpos.com for locations, seminars, and show info. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
I was afraid to cut the cord, but I'm so glad I did. I was paying way too much for cable. I wasn't finding the shows I wanted, and the prices kept going up. Thankfully, I discovered a new way to watch called Philo. I get to see all my favorite stuff in one spot, anytime I want, anywhere I want, for just $25 a month. Plus, Philo's got unlimited DVR, so I never have to miss anything. It really is the best deal in TV. Try it out for yourself. Go to philo.tv. That's philo.tv, and start your 7-day free trial now.
If you're looking to move out of your parents' place, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive, which is good because your little brother has gotten really territorial. You're blood related. You'd think it would be fine to share food in the fridge. I mean, who writes their name on every individually wrapped slice of cheese, Tyler? Still, you've got to admire the commitment. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and use the savings to help you move out and have all the cheese you want. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided in service by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
This is Jeff Scott. Did you know there's a way to outsmart COVID if you get it? Now, there are medicines that can treat COVID whether or not you've been vaccinated, which is great news, especially if you're over 50. If taken in the first 5 days of having symptoms, COVID medicines can help stop the illness from getting serious. Call a healthcare provider or the statewide COVID hotline at 833-422-4255 to learn more about COVID medicines. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
I tried to quit smoking cigarettes probably hundreds of times over the years. 2 or 3 days into quitting again, I go get into a vehicle and guess what? There's a pack of cigarettes in there. I mean, I've got the unlit cigarette in my hand. And I said to myself, why do I even try to quit if I'm going to cave so easily every time? Something clicked in my head that told me I can do this.
Every attempt is part of your story to quit for good. Visit Kick It California today at kickitca.org.
Live and local.
Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. And you know, Chris, life is about changes. And you might think that something is fine the way it is. And maybe it is. But maybe things could be better.
Always.
And I think that's what Coach Mike Brown had in his mind when he decided to start Chris Duarte in place of Kevin Huerter and really be open enough with himself and be true to himself to experiment in a game that you really did need, right? And you almost lost to the Hawks, and we had
you almost lost to Portland.
You did lose to Portland,
yeah, right?
And we actually had this conversation as far as the Kevin Huerter leash, right, for lack of a better term. And I know that there was the decision, or was it going to be, hey, if he can't ball out in this homecoming, that could be the line, or will he go ahead, will Coach Mike Brown go ahead and make the switch in the calendar year, which is really just one more game. And he decided, yeah, after that Atlanta situation, and Kevin Huerter came out trying. Mm-hmm. I think that was the main thing, because sometimes we'll see if he doesn't get it going early, he just won't shoot the basketball, right? So he came out shooting and trying, and through all that, he was relegated to 10 minutes.
Oof.
7 points in 10 minutes, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. And that was the writing on the wall. Yeah. And, you know, for as much as I'm looking at this box score here, because we haven't had a chance to talk about it, you got Kevin Huerter, 7 points in 10 minutes. You got Harrison Barnes, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, Ooh. 2 points in 12 minutes. Okay. So you go ahead and you go ahead and you decide to make this move for Kevin Huerter, because I do think that Harrison Barnes does more for you. And it wasn't just the initial move of Kevin Huerter. What Coach Mike Brown was also doing, he was putting everybody on notice and to say, hey, I got to practice what I preach. There can't be any egos here, right? Kevin Huerter is only 25 years old. It's not like he's this 10-year vet, right, who has earned all this cachet when we talk about Klay Thompson and guys like that. Anybody could get it too if you're not producing. And you go out and you make this move to put everybody on notice. And every time Coach Mike Brown has done something like this, the reaction has been pretty darn good. Keon Ellis, right? And then you bring Davion Mitchell back in. So he's really good at understanding the pulse of his team. And now you see the Grizzlies and Harrison Barnes, 20 minutes, 11 points, 2 rebounds. So you're never going to see the peaks and valleys from Harrison Barnes, but there was a little bit more juice there, and the old team had more juice. So I think that this move was much needed. So Kevin Huerter, in his first appearance off the bench in 17 minutes, had 9 points. Okay, so look, I think this thing, we've always had these discussions. Can this thing be fluid? And I think it could be. And I'm saying right now, they might not be done. Harrison, you know, you can play good in certain games, and I've stopped coming down Harrison's road because I think he does do a lot that doesn't show up in the box score. That's another overused sports term, but I do think it's true sometimes. But if you're not producing, we just don't have time. We don't have time to waste, and I've given everybody plenty of opportunities.
No, I mean, first and foremost, I would say Kevin's benching is definitely justified. I'm looking at some of the numbers in December. 7.6 points per game. That's King's low since he's been to Sacramento. That's the lowest that he's scored with, you know, more than 4 games of a sample size in a month. Shot 40% from the field, 31% from 3 this month in 13 games. That's, I mean, if I'm looking at last year's worst month from Kevin Huerter, it was February. He played 12 games, averaged 12.5 points, shot 48% from the field, 29% from three. I mean, this is by far, this isn't just like a lull or, oh, Kevin Huerter, he does this up and down. This was a different kind of low. And then when you throw in the first 3 games of the season, he also struggled as well. So he's really only had 13 games, or the month of November has really been the only month in which he's consistently produced. And it to me feels justified. Like this Kings team, yes, they're getting results, but it hasn't felt right. And I think, I don't know. I think your question of, is this about what Duarte brings or what Kevin isn't bringing, is definitely the thing that's ringing through my head the most. To me, it's yes, Kevin is struggling, but Duarte hasn't shot the lights out this year either. To me, it's just, if these guys are both going to be missing shots, at least Chris Duarte is incredibly physical on defense. Yeah. And I think, again, like maybe you can convince yourself with a little bit of momentum, with a little bit of rhythm, maybe Duarte's shot starts to fall. But I think, to what you said earlier, like we've seen a big enough sample size here to just say, Kevin, you got your shot. You got your chance. And we just have to look somewhere else. And like you said, might not stop here either.
I don't think it's going to stop here. And yeah, Duarte, as far as a pure shooter, of course I'm taking Kevin Huerter. But Duarte can get to the line. Mm-hmm. Okay, he can create more. I've seen him create more. He just doesn't.
He likes to dribble.
He likes to dribble, maybe a little bit.
But
too
I mean,
much.
that leads to creation sometimes.
Right. You got to pick sometimes. One of the two. If you're just out there and Kevin is just working really hard rebounding, that's not what we're paying you for, brother. Right. Everybody's got to rebound, but that's not what you're here to do. At least Chris Duarte is at least doing more of what they expected from Chris Duarte. Right. Kevin Huerter is doing from what they expected from Kevin Huerter. So sure. I think that this move is as good as it's going to be right now.
With the guys who are on the
you go out.
Make the Malik move, but
I don't think they're going to make the Malik.
No.
I don't think you can. No. I think you go out, they take care of business. They get their first back-to-back. They'll ride this thing for a while. Mm-hmm. But I do think what's tough about the Kevin Huerter benching is the whole working his way back, right? Sure. Because Kevin Huerter, we've gone back and forth about how he needs to get going. He's not just going to create in that way. So now that he's not going to have that opportunity, this is not the same as, oh, well, Keon is backup point guard instead of Davion. You can work your way back because the skill sets are similar, but Davion knew, okay, there could be a path here. This is a two-way guy, whatever it is. And you're just talking about a backup. So a lot of things can just change throughout the course. And Davion has had a couple nice games here too. But when you just lose your starting spot straight up, and what that person is giving to the team is something that you can't right now. If that person is able to knock down some shots and to do some things offensively, I'm sorry, Kevin.
Gets it back,
And look, I'm here on Kevin's basketball reference. Okay, for his career, he's averaged 12 points a game, 3.5 total rebounds, and 3 assists, shooting 44% and 38% from three. He was 2018-2019 all-rookie. What did you say? He makes about 17 mil, something like that a year?
15.
So, I mean, ultimately, he's only 25 years old. He just hasn't done enough for the leash that I think this was a perfect amount.
Yes.
I think this was, hey.
He was given ample opportunity to figure it out.
Right. We're not going to give you the whole season. Yeah. You haven't done enough to earn the whole season. They don't even want to give Clay the whole season, right? They don't want to give half of these guys the whole season.
Yeah.
So I think that, Kevin can either let this take him down or find a way to kind of fight through. Yeah. But I think that Coach Mike Brown has to be true to himself and be true to this team. And the other thing I would say is, okay, we've made this change. We continue to win. Harrison Barnes, don't be a black eye. Mm-hmm. Don't be a black eye out there, because there are some people that are already calling for Trey Lyles too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that the only way Kevin can get back into the starting lineup is, not only would he have to shoot well, because first, if Kevin starts playing well off the bench, you have to then wonder. To me, my first thought would not be, okay, let's put him back into the lineup. It's, okay, maybe he's more comfortable coming off the bench. It would take Kevin shooting well and Duarte continuing to struggle, because if Kevin's just going to shoot well, but Duarte also picks up his game, well, that feels like you made a move that made both players a little bit more additive. And why would you switch that up and go back to the thing that kind of messed them both up? It would take Kevin Huerter returning back to form. And at this point, that's like, him going in fuego. He's got to shoot like 45, 50% from three after this move. And Duarte's just going to have to continue to struggle, in my opinion, for him to give up that spot. I don't think that if you're Mike Brown, I think you want to set the precedent of, if I'm making these moves, it's a statement. It's not just oh, here you go. Like, here's a slap on the wrist. I benched you for a game, and you can come back in 3 or 4 games. Yeah. It needs to be no, I made this move. This is just how things are now. And you're going to have to slowly earn your way back in. So I think Duarte's probably, if I had to guess, he's probably going to, again, have it for the next 4 or 5 games. And if he actively plays bad, I would assume that's when they reconsider. But if he starts to pick up his game and even just have moments, I don't even think it's about him averaging 10 points a game and, getting assists. And to me, it's just, if he can have moments where he's out there being a dog defensively, because something else I noticed to start that game, you probably would have thought either Keegan or De'Aaron's going to start on Ja. With Duarte starting, they were never going to put Kevin Huerter on Ja Morant to start that game. It allows you to give those 2 guys who are incredibly important on offense, you let them kind of ease into the game offensively as well. So I think that there's a lot of benefits that starting Duarte brings that, again, when you compare it with what Kevin does, if they're both not hitting shots, Kevin's just never going to bring that super physical level of defense like Duarte brings.
It's the same conversation between Keon and Davion, because Keon was is more versatile defensively. Yeah. So if neither of you are going to hit shots, we got to go with Keon. It's the same idea. And then Keon started hitting a couple shots, and then it was, okay, well, now it's go time. Sorry, Davion. And Davion eventually, is continuing to try to find his way back, but that's just how it goes sometimes. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, it almost got real dark. It almost got real dark in Hotlanta when the Kings were down, and it was looking like this could be a complete mess. But there was a halftime discussion, and they turned everything around. We have that audio for you. We will get into it and their reactions and how they reacted after having a conversation going on to win that basketball game. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
It's a new year, and Good Guys Heating and Cooling has a new heating and air special. It's a 2023 equipment blowout with prices on complete heat and air systems starting at just $8,995. If you have a high quote from another company, call the Good Guys for a free second opinion on repairs and replacement. Don't trust the other guys until you've called the Good Guys. Save 30% on the cost of your home's heating and cooling with proper attic insulation. For a no-cost estimate, call 530-GOOD-AIR or check them out online at goodguysheatingcooling.com. Best service, best price, guarantee. And that's no bull. License number 1057618.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITBfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
The holiday Red-Tech sale is on at Maida Chevy with great deals on every new 2024 Silverado in stock. Great selection, great factory financing, and incentives. A great Maida Chevy savings on every 24 new Silverado in stock. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Guys, Want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. A lot of Kings talk, getting you ready for Kings Hornets tonight. No LaMelo, no Gordon Hayward, no problem. Hopefully not. Hopefully, because what was it that Dave was saying? That they've lost 11 straight.
Oh, yeah.
Hornets have. So this is a mini Pistons situation. Nobody wants to be
first.
Sure. By the way, shout out Pistons.
Shout out, I guess.
Getting it done. So now
there
were a lot of Kings fans worried about having to play the Pistons. Not just, I think a lot of teams were worried about having to play the Pistons if they were still on their losing streak.
Bagley was going to come out and kill the Kings.
Yeah.
No thanks.
That would have sucked. Is he even getting a run? Do we have a Bagley update?
Not really. I saw he got dunked on the other day.
Poor guy.
But I don't believe he's part of the rotation. They've been giving James Wiseman a lot of those minutes for some reason.
And by the way, James Wiseman, I saw a clip. Did you see this? Jeff Green.
No.
Jeff Green. Uncle Jeff.
Yeah.
Blew by James Wiseman and dunked on the baseline. It was so bad.
Insane.
So bad.
You think Monty Williams is out after this year?
No, I don't think they can.
They cashed him out.
They cashed him out. It's insane.
Isn't he the second highest paid coach or something?
Yeah, he's the second
third?
highest now. When they signed him to the deal, he was the highest, and then the Spurs upped Popovich's money, which, okay, that's not looking too great either, by the way.
By the way, yes, you have the Kings play the Pistons in Detroit January 9th. So that's a 4:00 game, another early one for the early birds out there that enjoy those games. But tonight you have the Charlotte Hornets coming to Golden One and hopefully coming to take an L as they take on the Sacramento Kings. And the Kings won a couple straight after that debacle against Portland. And it almost got real dark, man. I was actually listening to the second half of the game, driving around and listen right here on these airwaves. And I'm thinking, what the heck is going on, dude?
Yeah.
What is going on? And we got the story from Malik Monk in the post game that there was maybe not as much of a players only meeting or players meeting as some other media outlets have tried to make it seem like. But basically, that accountability that Coach Mike Brown has been talking about, it happened. And they basically just said, we can't keep doing this. Here's Malik Monk.
Play harder. That's it. Play harder, man, because every time we go down like that, we just being lazy, going through the motions, letting them do whatever they want to. And we came in at halftime. We was talking, said we got to hit them in the mouth first, and they're going to let us back in it, and that's what happened.
Interesting. Yeah, and I'm reading here on NBC Sports, it says Malik also later in that press conference acknowledged that the Kings talked way more at halftime of Friday's game than they normally do, attributing the chatter to the 25-point second half turnaround. So, I mean, that's we've talked a lot, especially last week about
more in game.
Yes, that's what he. No, it says talk more at halftime specifically, which I would have liked to see the in game part as well. As they say, defense is a lot about communication as well. It's a baby step, though. It's a baby step towards getting more, more communication on the floor. It's interesting. I don't know, how much of this actually was a players-led halftime and how much of it was just, guys sitting next to each other in the locker room, just talking game, and how much of it was like an actual, hey, guy, movie time. Guys, I got this. Okay. Harrison
we getting
time.
beat out there, man. We're better than this.
Come on.
You look your brother in the eye right now.
All that.
Are we about to lose to the Atlanta Hawks? Really? I know you got more dog than that.
Kevin?
I know you got more dog than that. Maybe not you, but you got more dog than that.
Is that Davion?
I didn't say. I wasn't saying a name there.
Also, speaking of dogs and Atlanta, you called Trey Lyles.
I did call Trey Lyles.
Called Trey Lyles, and he was,
Trey Lyles.
he probably would have lit the beam if that was in Sac.
Yeah,
probably would have.
Trey Lyles. I mean, I also said when we did the round table, I said he had no bag.
Yes,
but what I meant by that was creation.
Okay.
He's not going to create. That's a bag to me.
Okay.
A bag to me is the ability to create your own shot and a bag of moves.
Okay.
So he does or doesn't have?
He doesn't to me. You can be a shooter. Okay. You can be a shooter and not have a bag.
Who's a shooter? Like what? Kyle Korver can't create his own
exactly.
shots? Yeah.
That's what I would say.
So he was always just found, spot guy.
That's what I would
say. Like JJ
say.
Redick. Yeah. Okay.
What, you don't agree, Chris?
No, I mean, bag to me is just what's in your bag. Like, it's just anybody can have it. Like, people say Giannis doesn't have a bag. And I'm like, well, I mean,
it's super vague.
Dude just had 30 points, 18 rebounds, and 12 assists. Like, I think he's got a bag. He's got some things he could do, whether or not it looks like Kyrie Irving or not. Like, there's only a handful of people. So in my humble opinion, a bag is just what you bring to the table. So Trey's bag is, he's a good rebounder. He's physical. He can shoot the three. He can put it on the deck and pump fake, and he's got that in his bag. But yeah, I mean, does he have a bag of tricks? I would say no.
That is basically the difference in the definition.
Sure.
Because if you're watching and you hear our guy Mark Jones, as soon as somebody starts breaking it down, he says, so-and-so trying to get into his bag, right? That's what he'll say. It's
in his bag like TSA.
Right. He is clean like hand sanitizer. Yeah. I heard that one.
Fish grease.
Hotter than fish grease. That's the classic. That's a classic right now. And hopefully we're coming up with a bunch of new ones when we watch the game tonight as the Kings take on the Hornets. I mean, I don't think it's a trap game, because I don't even want to use that term. It's just go out there and take care of business.
Nate told me in the pregame, I don't know where it's still sitting at right now. The Kings are 15.5-point favorites.
I even saw 16.
What?
15.5 as high as 16.
Yeah, that's what we were saying.
Like
but injuries are rampant. Like LaMelo's not playing. Gordon Hayward's not playing. Terry Rozier's probably not going to play.
Okay, that's
I'm seeing 16 on Bleacher Report right now.
I mean,
and plus 980 or something.
That's not. I mean, you can't.
Plus 870 now.
You cannot lose that game. I mean, forget the spread. Like even when I do go to Vegas, I'm not a big spread guy. I don't think anyone has the power to try and predict, the exact score line of a game. But it's just get the result, man. Like, of course, if it's not going to look pretty, you better still at least win. Like, I can live with the Kings.
An 8-point win, right?
Yeah, I mean,
you're stoked on that.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, this is a team that at home made it close-ish. I guess you could the Wizards game it wasn't ever in doubt, I would say, but it wasn't super comfortable. It wasn't a 25-point game for the
towards
majority.
The end. They were a shot away.
Yeah, exactly.
The Wizards were.
Like I don't think that the Kings should be 16-point favorites realistically against anybody with how we've seen. Now, granted, the losses have been almost against a very particular, grouping of players and archetypes, but it just feels like this Kings team shouldn't give them the benefit of the doubt, especially not 16 points. I don't care if it's the worst team in the NBA. That seems excessive.
No, and the reason you want to go out and take care of business, I'm going to keep saying it until they actually get it done, is because, it would be really nice to come out, play hard. You don't have to play the fourth quarter going into a tough matchup tomorrow night against the Magic.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, we've seen that might not matter for this team specifically because nothing can make sense. But ideally, absolutely. Like, you want to have as fresh as guys as possible. And, it's almost a perfect opportunity if you're playing one of the worst teams in the NBA, followed by one of the best upstart teams in the NBA. you should probably try and take care of business as soon as possible. And yeah, I mean, though the Magic, Jason was telling us on the way out, the Magic are playing in Golden State tonight, so they themselves are going to be on the second night of a back-to-back. Even better, but even more reason to take advantage of the opportunity at hand. The Kings are 4. We talk about the back-to-back record, the second night of a back-to-back. Our guy Brendan Nunez pointed out a lot last week. Kings are 4-0 to start this year on the first game of a back-to-back, however. So that's not something that's been talked about a lot. I don't hear that a lot. So the Kings have actually, funny enough, taken care of business on the front end. You just hope you got to keep that level of focus, because it'll be nice if the Kings win against Orlando tomorrow, of course, but if they lose tonight first, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of they're bad on the second night of back-to-backs. If you don't win the first one, the point is to win both of them.
Yes, you got to get 2. Nate's got a stat for us. What you got?
Yeah, so would you guys like to guess the Orlando Magic's record back-to-backs? They have had 6 games with no rest this season. So presumably that's
dang,
back-to-back.
they've had 6 already?
Yeah.
Well, what? They have a similar record to the Kings, I think, don't they? They're like 18-12 or something like that.
I'm going to say they're 2-4.
Chris?
I'm going to say the Orlando Magic. I mean, I'm going to say they've done well this year, because I don't think you can get off to the start they had without starting off pretty well. I'm looking at the Magic's record. It's 19-13, so they have one more loss than the Kings. I'll say they're 5-1 on second nights of back-to-back this year.
Allen's right on it, 2-4.
Wow.
So they've had 6 already. So.
That's the thing. A lot of these teams aren't good. But you got to win some.
Yeah.
You got to win some. All right. Got to get a break. Got to get to a break. Because here's the first one. You have this back-to-back with the Hornets and Magic at home, which, hey, it's a good opportunity.
Yep.
Then your next back-to-back on January 9th and 10th at Pistons, at Hornets. You got to get one of these bad boys.
How about both of them?
How about both? All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, Chris Beerman joins us, and we will have a conversation about the Kings that talk in Atlanta, as Chris was with the Kings on this road trip, and the Niners as they get ready to prepare for the playoffs. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento.
Hey, YouTube chat. I just want to give you guys a shout out. We got really good numbers today. Sorry you guys the commercials aren't always awesome. We can't always be in here, but just major shout out to you guys. Thanks for being in here.
This season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long, long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey.
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches!
And dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Start learning a new language today at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with the free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Gather the family, pass on traditions, and discover new adventures together. Your Life Outdoors, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And it's swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive, base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Joined as we are every Tuesday by our guy, Chris Beerman of the Candlestick Chronicles in the Sacramento Bee. Chris, Happy New Year. Thank you for joining us, my guy.
Happy New Year. How are you guys doing?
We're good. We're good. And if you are a Kings and Niners fan, you're doing pretty good as well. So you're sitting there. You were in Memphis, right, for the road trip. You were in Atlanta as well. So you're hanging out. I don't know if you're in your hotel room, whatever it is. And the news drops that Chris Duarte will be inserted into the starting lineup. What were your initial thoughts?
Well, it was funny. So I was in the locker room pregame, and Mike Brown a few minutes earlier had hinted that there might be changes to the starting lineup, specifically regarding Kevin Huerter. And Chris Duarte just has a basketball and is like dribbling around, like, you know, you do the thing when you're like in 7th grade and you're dribbling around and you're doing layups off the wall, and like everyone's kind of clowning him. And, you know, at that point it was pretty clear that Duarte was going to be the starter. And, you know, he was just kind of bouncing off the walls. So it was funny to see, but I think it makes some sense, right? Like whether it's Kevin Huerter's finger injury or just his overall lack of offensive production, I think the Kings needed something, and I think it made sense in particular against Memphis because Chris Duarte does give you a better option in terms of defending Ja Morant, right? And he ended up doing a pretty good job when he was on him. So I think perimeter defense, it makes some sense. It allows you to, you know, have Duarte defend point guards, take a little bit of the onus off of De'Aaron Fox and Keegan Murray. And while Duarte doesn't really provide a whole lot offensively, I think he's shooting just north of 30% from 3 right now. He does offer an upgrade defensively, and they have enough scoring punch elsewhere that it makes sense. So I'm assuming, based on the way that Sunday night's game went in Memphis, that it's going to be something Mike Brown sticks with for the time being, and maybe it's something that kickstarts Kevin Huerter and gets him back going. But you know, I think that's certainly a spot to watch going forward, given that, you know, whether it's Kevin Huerter or Harrison Barnes, the Kings need more production from those guys, and maybe this is the first indication that more changes are coming. Chris, we just played in the last segment you asking Malik about just kind of what changed between the Portland game and then Atlanta at halftime, and Malik gave an answer. kind of hinting at a little bit more of a players-led halftime session. I don't know if we'd go as far as calling it a players-only meeting or anything as serious as that, but just kind of what was your read on what happened at halftime in that Atlanta game? And do you actually feel like there was something there that happened and then you see them just kind of take the reins against Memphis? Do you think that was maybe a moment for this team?
Yeah, maybe. It seems like Mike Brown sort of downplayed, like, oh, it was one of 82. We didn't want to overreact. But like De'Aaron Fox after the game said, in Atlanta, they really needed that win. That was like they needed that comeback to avoid that road trip, potentially going south. You don't want to get blown out on the road. And they were down 31, I think, 31-8 early in the first quarter in Atlanta. And what Malik said that was interesting to me when talking about the defense that they play, he said it was just laziness. Like when they're not playing good defense, it's just laziness, which is kind of confounding because this is a team that has to be better defensively if it wants to accomplish its goals in the playoffs. And we've seen them play relatively good defense against the Warriors in the playoffs last year. So it's really just an effort thing. And one of the questions I would have, Mike Brown, obviously a good coach and knows what he's doing, but the Kings practice a lot and they practice pretty hard. And when you talk about them maybe lacking energy or lacking physicality on the defensive end, I wonder how much you can just trace back to their energy levels in terms of how much they practice. And I also think that might play into their performances on back-to-backs, obviously, right? Like, not to say that they don't need the practice, but that, I think there might be something to the point where, maybe you ease up off the gas pedal a little bit now that the team is a little bit more familiar with Mike Brown's system in terms of the practice time. And this is a team that, like, when they go on road trips, they get off the plane and a lot of times they go immediately to the gym and practice. It's not like get off the plane, go to the hotel. It's like get off the plane and then go get a run in, go get some shots in, and prepare for the game the next day that way. So that can be a good way to acclimate your body. I'm sure that's what the Kings would argue, but it can also be potentially a reason why this team might be lethargic at times or might lack energy defensively when they really need it. So, I don't know that, I think Mike Brown's old school that way and he wants his team to practice and far be it from me to question Mike Brown's methods. But given that the team talks about, a lack of energy on the defensive end and the performances have been what they have been on the back end of back-to-backs, I think it's fair to ask the question.
Yeah, Chris, that's a really good point. I didn't even think about that. I'm not sure how much they practice compared to or the numbers of how much each team practices, and they are a younger team, but we're still fairly early in this season. So if you're tired now, you're not going to get any less tired as we go throughout the season. Talking to Chris Beerman, Candlestick Chronicles, and the Sacramento Bee. Chris, a name that was linked to the Sacramento Kings finally got moved from Toronto to the Big Apple. OG Anunoby, what were your thoughts on what the Knicks had to give up and how this affects the Kings in the trade market?
Well, giving up Barrett and Quickly for the Kings made me think that Usai Ujiri, the Raptors general manager, probably would have asked for Keegan Murray and Malik Monk, right? Like that's sort of just what it felt like, what the equivalent offer would be if the Kings were to make it. And that's pretty steep, right? Like Keegan Murray is a centerpiece here. It's been reported and that Keegan's not going to go anywhere. He's not going to be part of any trade discussions. The Kings really value him, and you do have him salary controlled for the next couple of years. And it's not, they view Keegan as a potential all-star type guy, and they really like the improvement he showed on the defensive side. And Malik Monk is, I think you could make a case a lot of nights Malik Monk is their second or third best player, depending on how Domantas Sabonis is playing defensively. So I think it was a steep price, and that sort of exemplifies, I think, the conundrum facing the Kings at the trade deadline is how much are they willing to give up for an upgrade? Because if you're another team and you have somebody, say Toronto is looking at Pascal Siakam in a potential Kings trade, Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes, excuse me, I don't know that does a whole lot for them. Like the Kings, maybe outside of a bunch of draft picks on the roster, I don't know that the Kings have too many super enticing assets, maybe aside from Keegan and potentially Malik Monk. And I don't think the Kings have much of an appetite to deal either of those guys. So in terms of the Kings looking at a major upgrade. I don't know that it's going to come because the Kings seem pretty intent on keeping the guys that they have. And maybe they do deal picks. Maybe it's something more like Alex Caruso, somebody who could be had a little bit cheaper and provide a little bit more perimeter defense and still add some outside shooting and maybe do similar to what Chris Duarte did on Sunday, but maybe somebody a little bit more with a little bit better size and a little bit more consistent. I think that would be an interesting name. Malcolm Brogdon, the Kings have been sort of moving around their backup point guard spot between Davion Mitchell and Keon Ellis. You wonder if maybe like a veteran like Brogdon would make sense, something like that. I don't know. Just some names come to mind. But in terms of what Toronto got for OG Anunoby, it makes me think that the price was probably too steep for the Kings. And I think the logic tracks there. But I think that there are plenty of there are ways the Kings roster can improve, but particularly defensively and with size on the perimeter. But I just don't know that the Kings have the assets or have the appetite to move the assets that it would take to get one of those guys.
Interesting. Yeah, talking with Chris Beerman, Candlestick Chronicle. Moving on to the 49ers now, who clinched the 1 seed in the NFC. And I'm going to ask about every other team except for the Niners, actually. Clearly they look like just a different tier from the rest of the NFC. You have the Cowboys and the Lions pretty much playing to a stalemate. And then you have the Eagles slipping completely. I mean, what's your view on the non-Niners teams in the NFC? Is there a team that sticks out to you more than the others, or does it just kind of feel like all three of those teams and maybe even another team that you could include in there are all just kind of, in that second tier, but not really even sniffing the first one?
I think the team, like I don't think the 49ers would lack confidence against the Eagles or Cowboys based on how those games went this season. I know the 49ers do not lack confidence when it would come to, potentially hosting Jared Goff, right? Given how well they played against Jared Goff when he was a member of the Rams. But speaking of the Rams, Matthew Stafford can pose the 49ers some issues, and Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp can be tough covers, and the 49ers are now dealing with injuries to Ambry Thomas and Jair Brown. Their secondary is backed up. Obviously, they're nicked up, I should say. Their safety position as a whole is banged up. So I would say in terms of like a team that might be able to upset the 49ers, I would say I would put Matt Stafford up there and the Rams against anybody. Which adds a little bit more intrigue to this week's game. I know, there aren't any implications for the 49ers, and they're certainly going to rest a lot of their guys. How many, I think, remains to be seen. I think Kyle Shanahan in his conference call with reporters yesterday was a little bit hesitant to just say we're going to rest all of our key guys because, it's not the preseason. You don't have a 90-man roster. You only have 53 guys to choose from and a limited number of guys that you can add from the practice squad. So that'll be interesting to see. But that aside, I think Matt Stafford and the Rams can potentially pose the 49ers some issues in the playoffs just because of how much they can score and how much, Sean McVay is familiar with Kyle Shanahan. And we've seen, obviously, the Rams beat the 49ers in the playoffs a couple of years ago in the NFC title game. So not to say the 49ers wouldn't be heavy favorites. I would absolutely expect the 49ers to get to the Super Bowl, knock on wood, as long as everybody stays healthy, of course. But if there were a team that I might, the Eagles defense just isn't there for me. I think the Niners feel like they have the Cowboys numbers, and rightfully so, given the way the last few years have gone. The Lions certainly not. And I think, if it had to come down to an NFC team, maybe under the radar in terms of upset potential with the Niners, I think it's the Rams.
Chris Beerman, Candlestick Chronicles in the Sacramento Bee. Thank you, Chris, for this first appearance of 2024. We will talk to you soon, and thanks for keeping us up to date on the Kings and Niners.
I appreciate you guys. Happy New Year.
All right, same to you. Got to get to a break. When we get back, is the biggest threat to the Niners in the AFC? Debo also had some things to say, and he says that the starters will play. We'll see what Kyle Shanahan has to say about that. And more Kings talk. OG to the Knicks. Are you surprised? Are you sad? Let us know. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
Get a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. Thank you again to Chris Beerman with the Candlestick Chronicles and the Sacramento Bee talking Kings and Niners. Man, I'm kind of shook off that practice thing that Chris
Yeah. No, I mean,
did you already know that?
Yeah, it was a big talking point last year, just in terms of how much they practiced. It made a little bit more sense last year because it was like Mike Brown's first year, everybody's kind of first year, and it makes sense to, try and get them as much on the floor experience as possible. But I hadn't heard it talked about as much this year. I would say, if I had to compare this to last year, it seems like, at least in terms of the home practices, there's been a few less. Last year, it felt like there were portions of time where Frankie and all of us, all the Kings media, were just living at the arena pretty much every day. But it's definitely an interesting point for sure. I mean, especially when it comes to, Malik talking about them being lazy and fatigue. We talked last week about maybe fatigue being an issue. They run offensively more than just about any other team in the NBA. So it's definitely interesting. I mean, you always point out they're a young-ish team. They definitely have youth on their side, but everybody gets tired. Everybody gets tired. Even a 24-year-old, peak athlete will even Dearon Fox will get tired on occasion.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking because of these blowouts. Now I'm going full tinfoil hat and just thinking,
if you're tired and things start going bad, are you gonna push to that extra gear?
I got a game in 2 days. I got to get on this plane,
and you got practice before that.
Yeah, no, y'all got it. Y'all got this one. So something to keep an eye on for sure. And as far as the Niners piece to this, when we were talking with Chris Beerman of the Candlestick Chronicles and the Sacramento Bee, what an interesting season for the Niners, because now we're just waiting. Now we're just waiting, and we're just waiting to see if the Niners are going to get it done.
Yeah, well, and it sucks too in terms of like the entertainment factor, where, I mean, Beerman pretty much said it there. Like, I asked him, hey, like, besides the Niners, is there any team that, is on the up, playing their best ball right now? And he's not wrong in saying probably the team that's hottest and does present the Niners with, strategically the biggest disadvantages, if there are any, is probably the Rams. And the Rams have kind of found their way back into playoff contention. And it's not even a guarantee that the Rams will make it to a round where the Niners are even going to be playing. So it's very telling that, and also a part of the story, that there's nobody else. It's the Niners and it's everybody else. And you can't, it doesn't do you good to say, oh, I've watched all the Cowboys games this year. Because we've seen the head-to-heads, we've seen the teams that they beat play the teams that they beat, and it's just everything comes up Niners. And so it's a little bit boring, but I'm glad that at least it gets boring in week 18.
Right. And let's not forget, earlier on in the season, the Rams didn't have Cooper Kupp, and they still played the Niners tough.
Yeah, that was not an easy game.
It will be now again. depending on where the chips all fall, yeah, the Rams would have to win at least one game, most likely on the road, to even get to the Niners, probably two to get to the Niners. So that'll be kind of fun to see how it plays out. Let's hear from Debo, who was on his hit with Kay Adams on Up and Adams, saying that the starters are going to play.
Are you a believer? Are you somebody who wants the rest and like you're for that, or do you want to keep the flow going?
You definitely want to keep the floor going, but you also want to give your body a rest. So I feel like we'll play this game for a good bit just to keep the groove going and not, take too much time off. I feel like we're going to be going this week, like as in practicing hard and continue to do the things that we do. And so, yeah, we just got to keep building and, we haven't played our best ball yet. So we just got to continue to get better and better each day.
So you're going to play?
Yeah, for sure.
I love that. Because there's decisions to make and all that. Is it kind of a negotiation? Like, are you going to have or is it coach says what happens and you guys are like,
it ain't no negotiation. Once coach say one thing, it's all hands on deck.
There you go.
Interesting.
Debo weather is coming.
There.
Yes, we are finally there. And Emil Fergoso, our Sactown Sports Niners insider, told us about Kyle Shanahan and his availability, and spoke as well and said that I guess the feeling is that this is going to come off like a preseason type deal.
I think that's a really bad idea.
You think it's a bad idea?
I think that's a really bad idea.
2 weeks off is a long time, brother.
Football is also not basketball, though, where you can go out, play basketball, play lazy, play 50%, and whatever, your team's not going to do well, but you can go out there and get a run. Football, you go out there and you try and give 75% effort, you're going to get hurt.
Right. You have to give 100%, but one quarter, get on out of there.
What about all these college guys in the bowl games who just took a month off? Like, that's the argument someone made to me when I was talking about, because I'm very cautious. I'm cautious. The 15-1 Packers, whenever that was, early 2010s, mid 2010s, lost divisional round after taking essentially 3 weeks off, right?
Yeah.
But then you look at teams like Georgia that took a month off. I know it's college, it's different, but that's kind of the comparison that was made that kind of opened my eyes.
I think to me, the big thing there is more just experience and knowing, it's on the team to know how to prepare for that week. I think some teams just lose focus. I think that a lot of times when you see teams get first round buys and then, show up rusty or something for that week that they do play, to me, that shows that they just didn't give that week the necessary attention that they should have. And, I think for college, you see the programs you listed. Georgia, they're going to be ready. They're in the championship all the time. They know how those 4 weeks should be spent. Alabama, you're never going to see Alabama come out flat for a big game like that. And I think the same could probably be said about the Niners. I don't think, and you can kind of hear it in Deebo Samuel there, I don't think Kyle Shanahan's going to let these fools take a week off, even if they play in the game or not. I think they're still going to be drilled and they're still going to practice like they're playing. It's just they might not suit up on Sunday.
Well, I think the conversation is how much of it actually matters, right? So let's say they do this thing like a preseason situation and they all play the first quarter.
Yeah.
Is that really going to keep them more ready to go as if they didn't play that one quarter and then you still have that game off? Is it about the preparation and just the idea that you are starting, you go out, you have a good drive, you score? I don't know. And how much of this, since everybody wanted to do this against the Ravens, hiding a playbook, well, maybe we don't want to show our playbook to the Rams because we might have to face the Rams.
Yeah, that's what I would say. If there's any possibility that you could face the Rams in the playoffs, that's, again, another reason why it's why am I going to play my guys out there? Why not give Sam Darnold some run? He didn't make a pass the other day. Give Elijah Mitchell some run. Maybe give JP Mason some run too. Give guys who haven't gotten a lot of time, but as we've seen specifically with this Niners team, you never know who you're going to need in the postseason. And it's a lot better for these guys to get at least some game reps in before the playoffs where, it'd be a whole lot worse if, I said this the other day, if Sam Darnold's first reps of the season are coming in the second round to make it to the NFC Championship game. It might not make a world of difference, but again, it would be nice if that's not his very first game action of the season.
Yeah, well, hopefully either way, you just don't have to see him. But in a situation like this where there's truly nothing to play for, I think there's certain spots. Brock and those stingers right? I know he played well this past weekend, but I think Brock would be a no-go for me.
I'm trying to get
I think
Sam
Christian
Darnold
McCaffrey
back
is a
then,
no-go for me. And past that, I don't know. I mean, Kittle, maybe you give him a little something, but these are hard-earned miles, man. I mean, Debo, it sounds like Debo is saying that they already spoke about it, so this might all be a moot point. But at the same time, what is the difference between playing for a quarter and where is that line? Is it halftime? I don't know.
To your point, too, I think you played hard all season to earn an opportunity like this.
Yeah.
I would take advantage. I would just straight take advantage of it. And if you lose that playoff game, you can blame a million other things, but I would not blame the fact that the guys didn't play for 2 weeks or, I didn't play them a quarter a week and a half ago, and that's why they're rusty. Like, I think that's I just think that the risk reward is not there here. And I would bench everyone, and I still think, remember Matt Flynn? Matt Flynn had a crazy week 18 and it got him a huge contract, and you could trade him up.
Play a game
he
after
did not
that?
play a game after that. I'm just saying,
you
could, I'm just saying a lot of things can happen in week 18. Play Sam Darnold. Maybe you can convince somebody else
There's
that
some quarterbacks
there's something here, and you can stumble upon an unnecessary asset or an unexpected asset.
Rip it, dude.
You could flip them somewhere. I mean, let's not forget.
Purdy already lost the MVP,
He already lost the MVP. Tommy DeVito. I mean, a lot of these guys, Tyler Badgett. I mean, we saw some crazy starters pop up. You're telling me Sam Darnold just can't garner some attention? Maybe
fourth, fifth round pick. You know what I'm saying?
Little flip that here.
Just show something.
I think you might want to hold him for. I don't know. I'm just scared of injuries.
Might as well be able to have the conversation and in the process not injure or put your franchise QB out there to possibly be injured. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, OG Anunoby goes to the Knicks. What does this mean for the Sacramento Kings, and who should they target in trade talk? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis, put the frosting on the cake, put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand clutch makes it 114-106.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-859-3220. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-859-3220, 800-859-3220, or biglou.com.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531. 808-2531.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland, and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long, long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m.
Light the beam! Light it!
We are going to light the beam, hopefully, tonight. And OG Anunoby will not be lighting the beam, as he is not coming to Sacramento. He is in New York. He is with the New Yorkers now in the Big Apple. And the Raptors get back Emmanuel quickly. RJ Barrett, who is from Canada, so that's a bit of a homecoming for him. You saw the news come through from Woj and everybody. And did you think it was a little bit steep for OG, or did you think it made sense?
Yeah, first off, I mean, I woke up to the news. I was not awake when it happened. I think it broke at like 9:20 our time or something like that. So I woke up, saw the texts from Brendan, from Frankie, like, oh my gosh, can't believe it. And yeah, I mean, I think that I think Toronto gave up I think the Knicks gave up way too much. I just don't see it. To me, I didn't even think of it this way until he said it there, but I think Beerman put it perfectly. If you're a Kings fan and you want to think of it from the Kings perspective, yes, they did. The key is the Knicks didn't give up any picks. And I think that's why they had to give up so much when it comes in terms of player capital. But you essentially, gave up Keegan Murray and Malik Monk. I mean, Emmanuel Quickley is right there neck and neck with Malik Monk when it comes to being the sixth man of the year. I would actually probably give Quickley the advantage there. He's been insane this year. And then you have RJ Barrett, who's a former number 3 pick, hasn't I guess you can say he has disappointed in terms of he hasn't really, been up to that. It went Zion, Ja, and then RJ Barrett. He hasn't quite reached those levels, but he's a good NBA player. He's super young. Yeah. Putting up 17 to 20 points a game, I think, when he's at his best. That's a lot. That's like giving up, again, like Beerman said, Keegan Murray pretty much and Malik Monk for OG. That's just way too rich. And even for a Knicks team that was willing to make that level of sacrifice, I just don't know where it puts them.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole, there was a whole conversation, of, do they have a guarantee from OG? Because if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to get this wrong, but I have the gist of it. OG Anunoby's agent is Sam Rose. Sam Rose is the son of Knicks GM Leon Rose, who used to run CAA, which is the biggest athlete agency there is. Is there some sort of, Thanksgiving or Christmas conversation or New Year's conversation of, hey, how if we can bring OG over here, can we get some assurances that maybe he's going to be here long term? So I don't know.
Right. I read something as well that was basically like the long term deal might not be as pricey because he wanted to be in New York or something like that.
Interesting.
I don't even know if that's legal. I mean,
Right.
there's so much information going out now. The bottom line is it seems like this isn't a deal that they would have made if they didn't feel fairly confident. And
Right.
maybe they're just confident because it's New York and basketball's better.
Oh, yeah.
When the Knicks are good, fine, whatever. We've survived plenty long with the Knicks not being good, and basketball has still been pretty good as
Maybe
well.
the best
So
it's ever been.
maybe the best it's ever been in terms of the talent. And when you look at the move that the Knicks made, and you brought up where that puts them in the East.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I would say that the East is kind of a mess. I mean, if the Bucks lost again to the Pacers,
Yeah,
they
they
cannot
did. Yep.
beat the Pacers. I know we've seen Giannis in MVP talks and even Damian Lillard in the MVP conversation in that next 5, that top 15, the bottom 5 of the top 15, but something is wrong, right? And surprise, surprise, you give up Drew Holiday, and now their defense is not what it once was.
No.
Because Damian Lillard has never defended, right? We pick and choose these guys that we pay attention to how bad they are defensively. And sure, it's all about whether your plus or minus adds
Yes,
up.
that's
And for a long time, that has been the case for Damian Lillard. I'm sure it's still the same way. But Damian Lillard does not defend.
No.
He does not play defense. So you have to figure that out. I think you bring in a Damian Lillard. So Chris Middleton, after you won a championship as the number 2 guy, now you're 3, 2B, whatever it is. So they're trying to figure things out. You're still running out Brook Lopez, and he's trying to, I guess, still be a factor. He's chucking up threes. So the Bucks kind of a mess, not a mess, but relatively speaking, it's the Celtics and everybody else. So maybe the Knicks felt like, hey, why not? I mean, if we're asking, there's 2 opposite ways to look at making trades. There's the West, where there is no clear-cut team because of how good everybody is. And then there's the East, and there's, 2 teams and everybody else, and maybe 3 if you're ready to believe in the Sixers, which I am not, but it's the Sixers, the Celtics, and the Bucks, right? So maybe you feel like the Knicks feel there is no reason that we can't beat out Orlando or whoever and be a 4 seed. Right?
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, it's for the most part wide open. It kind of is, like you said, it feels like it's the Celtics, and then if you want to put I would kind of say similar to how I just described the NFC, where it's like the Niners, and then teams that are good but doesn't feel like they're touching the Niners level. It's like the Celtics are clearly tier A. And then, it's like, Bucks, Sixers, Orlando at the start of the year. Miami's been pretty hot. I mean, no pun intended. And then Indiana as well. Like, I think that it's got some talent, but if you're the Knicks and you are the New York Knicks, and like you said, they're adamant about making this resurgence and back to prominence and all that stuff. You also said there's a lot of talk that this isn't the only move that the Knicks are looking to make. So, I mean, you could definitely say that the Knicks saw this, and it was a good player that they feel that they can re-sign, defensive focused. It's almost like a perfect Tom Thibodeau player. He's a dude who's more than okay and used to playing 40 minutes.
He ran into the ground.
Running into the ground, and he's going to defend the entire time he's out there. So I think it makes sense for the Knicks. I think they were looking to do something different at that RJ Barrett spot, but to me, it does feel like they're still that one big move away from really doing something serious. And I don't know if it's going to be like we're talking with the Kings, where it's like a Caruso or a fringe move, or if it is, I've never been the biggest Julius Randle guy. I would look to see what I can get for him and maybe shake up. And then, to the Becky Hammond thing that we talked about a couple weeks ago, you put the ball in Jalen Brunson's hands a little more and see, all right, this dude clearly is a different level of talent than what at least I thought he was going to be. What's it look like when this guy's the number 1? I think the Knicks might have something.
Yeah.
It's just a lot they gave up.
It's a lot they gave up. You know what I'm thinking in my head right now? I don't necessarily know why the T-Wolves could do this, but if you got a third player involved, and I haven't looked at anything, something stuck out to me when the Kings got ran off the floor by the T-Wolves. And I saw someone basically say, you need to start looking at the T-Wolves without Karl Anthony Towns because he did not play in that game.
Yeah.
Which seems crazy to me. I mean, they have their hybrid big three, whatever you want to call it, but that is a guy to where, the Becky Hammond thing about Jalen Brunson being 1A, if you do think that, and I think Karl Anthony Towns has done a good job of taking the backseat to Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
But if you do think, and
kind of had no choice.
Right. Well, no, the T-Wolves are rolling,
Yeah.
so I don't know why they would do this. But if you did think that there was any push and pull there, you get a Karl Anthony Towns to New York.
Oh, yeah. I think he's from that area, too. I think he's from New Jersey. Yeah.
Right. You get a Karl Anthony Towns out there with Brunson, and Brunson can be 1A, but have a really strong 1B. I think the Knicks are still, I guess to your point, the Knicks are dealing with Julius Randle. The Knicks are basically dealing with their version of what the Kings have been dealing with Harrison Barnes. You probably just need to upgrade at that specific position to really have that championship conversation. How you get it done, we don't know.
Right. Yeah. Different tiers, but same conversation where it's like Julius Randle, he's really good. I mean, you look at his numbers at the end of the year and he's like 22 points per game, 11 rebounds, even like 5 or 6 assists, hits some threes, does it all. But I mean, every time I watch him, I kind of throw up a little bit. He's a little bit in that, if like him and Donovan Mitchell were on the same team, it would be an absolute must not watch for me. Both of them just have a style of basketball it's very unappealing to me. So yeah, I mean, if I were the Knicks, I would look to move on from Julius. I think he's a guy who a lot of teams could convince themselves, like, put this guy in our system and just look at those numbers. I would look at there and see, because you can probably get a decent return for him. That could be something that puts them into, I don't know if Karl Anthony Towns, I think that's a decent switch. I don't know how the Timberwolves would feel about it, but that's the exact kind of move I think the Knicks are looking at.
You got Nas
now.
Reed though, so maybe you feel like, hey, if we're gonna get a bunch
back,
if we're gonna get a bunch back for Karl Anthony Towns, we got Nas Reed, and I don't know if
you
it would
get
be
Julius Randle.
Julius Randle. Maybe you look at it. Probably not going to be this season just because the T-Wolves are rolling.
Right.
But somebody like that, somebody in that mold that can take some of the scoring off of Jalen Brunson, but is just better than Julius Randle.
Knicks fans would eviscerate Karl Anthony Towns, though.
Yeah.
For his I mean, the New York basketball, and then Tibbs as well, and then you got almost the guy who's the complete opposite. You got the softness.
You gotta go deep voice the whole time.
You got the voice thing. You got the fact he's not like playing like a real big, especially they're used to the Charles Oakleys of the world and stuff. Karl Anthony Towns is not that guy.
All right,
we'll see. I like the fit though.
They're not. They shouldn't be
and
done.
He's Kentucky guy.
They shouldn't be done.
Yeah.
No,
absolutely not. They definitely shouldn't be done.
Got to get to a break. When we get back talking Kings trades, who is available? Who are you interested in? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. The winter months bring joy, but also with more rain and snow, unfortunately, more accidents. Over the last quarter century, thousands of Northern California residents have looked to Ashton & Price to be their root op with a law license to guide them through the storm of an injury claim. As always, we wish you and your family the safest and happiest of holidays. But if you need us, at Ashton & Price, we're here for you. So whether you've been naughty or nice, happiest holidays from Ashton & Price.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee-owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
The holiday red-pack sale is on at Maida Chevy with great deals on every new 2024 Silverado and Star.
Great selection, great factory financing, and incentives.
A great Maida Chevy savings on every 24 new Silverado and Star.
Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Trade Machine coming out for the first time in 2024, but OG Anunoby will not be in the Trade Machine anymore when it comes to the Sacramento
R.I.P.,
Kings.
dude. R.I.P. to
It was a good
Trade
run.
Machine legend.
Actually,
It's one of the
yes,
best runs we've ever seen.
Right. I mean, at how many teams was he linked with? The Warriors.
Yep.
I actually didn't see that. I knew the Knicks were going to make a move, but
Came out of nowhere.
whenever I saw OG, it was Warriors, Kings, right? I know everybody was interested in him.
Sure.
But I guess the Knicks are just always in the mix. The Lakers, right? Your usual suspects. The Heat, another team. The Heat love to be a part of a trade conversation.
Just part of it.
Every single year. So OG Anunoby has now been moved to New York. That is one of the two big Raptors pieces that we've been keeping an eye on. And look, Kings fans, I'm not coming down your road because everybody does it. But hopefully this is a reality check for you and these trades, okay? Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes, or Harrison Barnes and Davion Mitchell, not going to get it done.
Yeah, no.
Not going to get it done.
Not for the quality of player that we keep bringing up.
Even if you're bringing a pick?
Yeah.
Even if you're bringing a pick? No.
No.
Okay, trades are not supposed to be easy.
No.
Unless you're dealing with the Jazz or somebody, you're just going to get finessed, all right? So now you have Pascal Siakam where the deadline has passed. He is, as far as I know, a full-blown rental at this point. How that will affect his price tag, knowing Masai, probably not much. Probably not by much. That sounds like a you. This is Masai Ujiri.
Yeah.
That sounds like a you problem.
Yep.
The price is the price, all right? So I don't think that the Kings are going to touch it.
Mm-mm.
You can't afford to.
Not after that. I mean, not after seeing what the price for OG is. It's like, well, we are not in a position where we can just magically, patchwork a Keegan Murray and Malik Monk.
Yeah, so it's done. Yeah. It's done as far as I'm concerned. And I don't know who, unless...
How far do you think those Kings conversations got with OG? Because I think
Keegan
Biederman's right that it probably was just straight Keegan and Malik. And there's no way that was ever even that's just a laughable thing, right?
It went so quick. Masai Ujiri thought it was a pocket dial. That's how quick it went. Okay, who are you looking for? OG. Okay, well I need Keegan. Click. Hello.
Yeah. Hello. I call him back. Hey, I think we dropped.
Yeah.
You're in a bad spot.
No.
I heard. What
I got one bar. Sorry, I got one bar. No, I got 5 bars. It must be.
No, it can't be the case because you just hung. It's like
sounds like you've been to several bars if you're making this call.
Yes, but that's exactly right, and you're not getting back what you.
No, that's insane. I mean, there's no.
It's
way.
over.
There's
now.
no way Monty even entertained that.
Do you think the price tag does change because of this whole rental situation with Pascal, or is it not my problem?
I think it has to. Like, there's no way. I think I saw Mark Stein put. I haven't read his actual Substack, so it was an aggregated tweet. So I don't know how 100% true it is, but I think I saw that Pascal pretty much has told teams he will not re-sign, and he wants to really just be a free agent at the end of the day. So if you're believing any of that, or if any of that is even being, remotely thrown out there when it comes to, the behind the doors, behind closed doors conversations, I wouldn't want to touch it. I mean, there's just no reason. I mean, unless you just have an excess of assets, which no one really is just lounging around
the Thunder.
The Thunder are actually a team that really could do it. There's not many teams out there. There's really no reason to risk it all for Pascal, who, frankly, again, my question will be, let's say the Kings bring in Pascal Siakam for not Keegan Murray and Malik Monk. What does that do for your ceiling, really? And does that cap you off? I don't know. I'm not the huge. I like OG as a player a lot, but I don't think he's a guy who, you should risk everything because he's gonna really change the trajectory of where you're going.
Yeah, he is a really solid piece. But the problem was the price tag. And really, let's say that Masai isn't able to move Pascal. And let's say he walks in free agency, right? He better be thanking his lucky stars that the Knicks gave him what he gave him, because that would be looking real bad. Tough. If you only got one of those guys. Let's say just got RJ Barrett and a pick or whatever. So, yeah, I think that this whole thing is over. I don't think that. I know the Kings aren't going to be in on Pascal. I don't know. I can't speak for everybody else, but now we move forward. And if you're the Kings, I don't know what that does to the market, because that's one specific guy in the Raptors. I don't know how this affects going after a Caruso. I don't know how this affects going after a Levine. I'll go after Caruso, but and Brendan during our roundtable last week had a couple different ideas. And who was it for Caruso? It was,
I can look at his article
which is out on Sactownsports.com if you want to check it out. But yeah, it was that one Sasha? I know he had one trade where he threw Sasha in there, or is Colby Jones too, something like that.
Got the article here. Brendan put out Kings acquire Alex Caruso, Terry Taylor, send off Kevin Huerter, Colby Jones, and a top 10 protected first round pick.
I'd do it.
I would definitely think about it for sure. I mean, I think, I think that this team is really close to entering a different tier of things. And I mean, I think that Caruso being a defensive guy, but also just, again, I describe him as just a winning player. Like, he's just a dude who, dives on the floor, will guard other teams' best defenders. If you leave him open, he'll hit a 3 100%. I would heavily consider it, especially if you just feel like that piece makes so much sense. A top 10 protected pick is really not that bad. I mean, especially since the Kings plan to have playoff aspirations, ideally that pick will be in the 20s anyway. So I'd be okay with it. Especially if you just kind of think of it as a Caruso for Huerter swap. And you're getting rid of a first round pick. I don't think that's that bad.
As the games play out, and this season gets a little bit deeper, and obviously the trade deadline is approaching. We are a little bit over a month away from the trade deadline, February 8th.
Interesting.
Has your thought process changed at all as far as what you think the Kings should do, if your belief is that the Kings don't have a championship roster? Basically, are you leaning more towards them going for it? Right. Or at this point, just seeing what happens in the offseason?
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm still being a little bit conservative for this season. It still feels like we're in, I don't want to say a bit of an evaluation period, but it definitely is I'll call it an evaluation period. It's definitely okay, we're good. What do we kind of need to go to a different level? And I think sometimes you do have to go through some ugly moments to kind of overall figure out, like, definitely that's a weak spot. So I don't think the Kings have to make a move. I think that they can take tiny steps to get closer to patching and becoming the team they want to become. But I just don't see, with the names that are available right here, right now, the Levine thing, like he's definitely a floor raiser for sure. He's a guy who, if the Kings do decide to bring him in, they're probably going to be a better team for it. But again, it becomes the risk reward of, okay, you're then paying this guy X amount of dollars. What does that do in terms of hamstringing you in other departments and things like that? So I still feel like the Kings would be better off just kind of making some fringe moves. And then maybe this offseason you can take a bigger swing.
Yeah, I actually was more in the camp of taking the swing now because I don't think the Nuggets are going to be a dynasty. That's no disrespect to them. Yeah. And when you look at the other teams in the West, if you're a bit worried about them, they're getting older, right? The Warriors, I mean, we're basically done talking about the Warriors here. Yeah. Lakers are going to have to make a move, or we're done talking about the Lakers. Yep. The Suns are a complete mess. I don't know what's going on. And then on the other side, I think the Thunder are a year away. They're trying to prove that they're not.
Last year.
Exactly. So you have the Thunder, you have the Grizzlies basically a year off, right? And then you have the T-Wolves who I would put the T-Wolves right in the same conversation with the Kings as far as, hey, we're both trying to prove some things here. Yeah. So, yeah, I was leaning more towards that side. But the more I think about it, man, and we'll get into it over the break, this thing really is a marathon. Mm-hmm. We look at some of these other teams that don't have championships and have sustained success, and you ask the question whether their fan base has been happy. Like if you were to ask a Sixers fan, that process was a while ago.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, Ben. Sometimes I forget about Ben Simmons. Yeah. Okay, he's not playing again, but even before then, Ben Simmons was part of the original process, and they stunk before that, right? And they don't have a championship. That 1 year with the Kawhi shot was probably their best shot to get it done. So there's look at the Celtics. Celtics went to the finals. Yeah, they don't have nothing.
No, Jason Tatum's got no ring.
Anything with this regime.
Brad Stevens, no ring.
This is the same regime. Jason Tatum feels like he's been. How old was Jason Tatum? He had Isaiah Thomas. Yeah. Then he had Scary Terry, right? And he had Kyrie. They've been through all of them.
Yeah.
All of them. Then they had the Brogdon situation. Marcus Smart is gone. By the way, Marcus Smart, I don't know what happened, but that man can't shoot.
I don't know.
That man can't shoot anymore.
Yeah. He's never been a great shooter, but I think
hit some knockdown threes. That was
it was really bad.
Dude, he was hitting the backboard, airballing it. It was terrible. So we get to it more after the break, but you look at this thing and sustained success, the idea of honestly pulling a Brock Purdy and going from Mr. Irrelevant to a Super Bowl, unless you have a roster and that can really help and you're just kind of ready to go, that's not where the Kings are at. So I think you just get to the playoffs, see what happens this season. If nothing is just staring you in the face because you don't want to make a hasty decision that you end up regretting. So I was in the camp of making a move, but it's almost funny because the same reason to not make a move and the same reason to make a move are similar. Yeah. Right. It's because you got time. You got time and it's open right now. Depends on how you look at it. All right. Got to get to a break. When we get back, the Kings are heavy favorites tonight, 16.5. Okay. Should they be that heavy a favorite against anyone? And are you worried that they are this heavily favorited? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
Got a handoff to McCaffrey. He walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey. Takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles the man. 10-5. Touchdown. CMC.
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
If you're looking to move out of your parents' place, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive, which is good because your little brother has gotten really territorial. You're blood related. You'd think it would be fine to share food in the fridge. I mean, who writes their name on every individually wrapped slice of cheese, Tyler? Still, you've got to admire the commitment. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and use the savings to help you move out and have all the cheese you want. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, halfway through the show, taking you up to 2 p.m. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Trades, movement, clinching. So much happened over these last couple days. Chris and myself taking a quick break. So how was the disco party?
It was good. It was all good. Yeah, we did a nice little potluck and a little indoor-outdoor situation. Weather wasn't too bad. You weren't here last year, but last year on New Year's, we had one of the worst storms I've ever seen here in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Like trees falling down left and right.
We lost power at our party.
Yeah.
We were at a huge party, like 50 people, and then it turned into phone lights, Bluetooth speakers, and a fire pit outside. It was inside. I forgot
It was
about
nuts. That was literally a year ago.
That might have been the craziest storm I've ever been in Sacramento. The
Yeah.
wind was wild.
It's the craziest one I can think of.
It was awesome.
We had to have a tree removed in our backyard because it was going to fall on our garage. It was like a whole thing last year. So, really just glad that it wasn't that. So anything would be better than last year's New Year's. But yeah, it was a good time. Solid. Made it to midnight. I know you struggled in that department. Man. All intents and purposes, it was a good party. It was a good party. Nothing too crazy though.
Well, the thing about potlucks is how do you deal with the person if there is one of these people that
shows up?
You
just
brought
shows up.
Either
People
nothing
just showed up. A lot of people just showed up.
Either nothing, and then you want to eat. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Or you just brought. I mean, what's the line here? Right.
I always go for the paper plates guy.
Mhm.
That's big my energy. Paper
That's
plates, napkins,
chips.
Yeah.
You don't ask if there are any chips needed. You just bring
bring 'em.
chips.
Just
very
bring 'em.
game manager of you, Chris.
Very
It's
game
a
manager.
smart move.
Yeah.
Smart
Hey,
move.
no one ever thinks to bring up, but
Yeah.
it's also not really something that's super necessary.
Right.
It depending.
It could
be pretty
on the
important.
spread.
Yeah.
We are getting very close now. We can do this once we get closer to Super Bowl. But yes, we will definitely have the Super Bowl party conversations because there is, you can.
I hate them.
You hate them.
Dude. I'm trying to watch the game. Like I care about. Like I'm not trying to hang out.
You don't need to be at a party
I
then.
feel you there, buddy.
Not for the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah, don't go.
Yeah, I'm
right
not
there with
going,
Nate.
and
I'm
no
right
one's
there
going to
with him.
invite me, and I'm not going.
What if it's a team that you just so
No.
I've seen the one that I've seen my wife struggle with is she's big on the halftime.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
if you
for
go
sure.
to a place, a party, and she for some reason she thinks that other people might care to watch the halftime when a lot of people don't, right? Some people do. It just depends on
the year for sure.
Who's performing, who you're watching the game with. So if we end up at a place and it was Bruno Mars or something, and she's not, they're not, whoever's there, majority of the people don't seem to care, really ticks her off because she can't hear the performance.
Yeah, because people
so
are talking.
Ultimately, I think what we're all saying is stay away from Super Bowl parties unless you go to a Super Bowl party if you don't really care about the game.
Anything.
Yeah.
You don't care about anything.
When people sit there and they say, "Did you see this commercial, that commercial?" I'm always no,
I didn't.
because I might have
don't
seen it,
remember
but
it.
I didn't hear it because people were talking.
Yeah. No. I sit. I absorb it all. I watch it. I'm a fan of the sport.
Yeah, I'm just in general. I'm kind of out on like sport watching parties. If I have any interest in the game at all, like I have to talk about the game or anything like that, I have to be as solo dolo as I could possibly be.
I have an example of this that just happened to me. That Lions game where they got robbed. I didn't mean to watch it. I just went out to meet some friends. It's on the TV at this place we're at. It's loud. You can't hear. I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
When they didn't check in eligible. Where I'm watching that game, I thought Detroit just won.
Right.
I can't hear anything. I didn't know there was an eligible man. I didn't even know it was a tackle that caught the ball.
Yeah.
It was just there's so much going on.
Right.
I hate that. I hate it.
Yeah. If
I'm
you're
right there
gonna
with you.
Well, if you're
It
gonna
doesn't
watch
sound
out,
fun.
well, we'll ask, hey, are you gonna put the set? We won't stay if we actually care.
Yeah.
You got to put the sound on.
Bro, it doesn't always matter though. Like you can't hear everything. Like I need to hear when they're calling up Dean Blandino. When they're
Then, yeah, you don't need to watch it out then.
yeah, you're right.
Hey, can
we
you
gotta
guys
figure
turn
it
up
out.
Dean?
Yeah.
Hello. What's he saying?
Or what about our guy from SAC?
Oh yeah.
Why am I blanking on his name?
Pereira.
Yeah,
Mike
Pereira.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sacramento legend.
There you go.
Him and LeVar Burton.
There you go. Well, hey,
in the same.
hopefully we will be talking about the Niners in the Super Bowl as Nate avoids any Super Bowl parties, regardless of whether they are in or out. And we can do the same thing as it pertains to the NBA Finals and the Sacramento Kings. I mean, that might be a little bit different because, I don't know, I think basketball.
I'm out.
Yeah,
Still
well, I
out.
know
I'm still
you're.
out.
I
was
already,
like,
I
I'm
already
still
knew you.
not.
I already, no,
Definitely not.
I already knew you were out. I thought maybe I could pull Nate back in because football is a little bit different. I know, football is his baby. So I thought
Kings are a little different. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
See, there you go. There you go. But to get there,
I
you're going to have to.
Katie and Drapes, though, man.
Well, that's
Mark,
true.
yeah.
That's true. And Mark, cooler than the other side.
Or G-Man, wherever.
G-Man as well.
Not working.
Now, in order for the Kings to get there, they got to take care of business when it's time for them to take care of business, which would mean not necessarily covering. Who cares if you cover or not? But beating a Charlotte Hornets team that is missing LaMelo Ball, Gordon Hayward, Mark Williams, Terry Rozier is doubtful with an illness, and Frank Ntilikina. So there are a lot of guys missing.
That's insane. Like there's no reason for the Kings to lose again. Like unless we're gonna all stand witness to PJ Washington dropping 45 points, and yeah, maybe if Terry Rozier plays, maybe he can have a big night. I cannot see how the Kings possibly lose this game. And I've said it before when they play the Hornets, and the Hornets do in a weird way give the Kings some battles. I keep bringing up PJ Washington because he did have a 30-point game against the Kings in Golden One Center a few years back. It's one of those things where you can't with this team. I don't think you can confidently say anything. And that's when earlier when we were talking about the spread of this game, I cannot believe that the Kings are favored by so much. Of course, they should definitely be favored. There's no reason, again, for them to lose this game. But this year, I was just looking at the point differentials on the season, and that game on Sunday, the game in Memphis, was the Kings' biggest blowout of the entire season. 21 points, I think it was. They just haven't beaten teams up that bad, especially not the most obvious teams in the league where it's like, you should be able, I'm sorry, 30, it was 31-point win in Memphis, but you should be able to take down, the Wizards. And granted, the Kings haven't had the easiest schedule, so there's not tons of layup opportunities there, but even that Spurs game that was in San Antonio, if you remember, the Spurs were up like 27-8 or something like that to start that game. The Kings have not taken care or made those games super easy on themselves. So I got to see it with my own eyes. I'd love to see it happen. Everything's laid out perfectly for the Kings to take advantage, but I just got to see it first.
How many times, right? And honestly, you look and you see, okay, well, they beat the Wizards by 12, which is definitely respectable.
Yeah.
It's just real deal blowouts to where, okay, how many times have the Kings been able to rest guys?
The entire fourth quarter.
The entire fourth or halfway through the fourth. All we've really seen is maybe 2 minutes of Kessler Edwards or whoever, and that's it, right? Okay, 2 minutes. De'Aaron just made another three, which made it, 15 with 2 minutes left. Okay, now we can sub our guys out. So maybe tonight's the night. I mean, the Hornets, again, another team. You talk about what their plan is. They are struggling. I mean, are they going to sell? People have brought up the PJ Washingtons of the world and some of these guys. LaMelo can't seem to stay on the floor, to be completely honest with you.
There's the ugly side, too, where it's like they just bring back Miles Bridges, and they're definitely not going to be able to trade him. And I think I heard the other day that there's no plans to bring him back past this year. So you're just kind of losing a guy who was at one point a really big young star for you, and you're just not going to be able to replace him.
And who was the other one? Kai Jones.
Oh my gosh!
That guy. Hopefully,
just completely tanked his own value.
Yeah, hopefully he's getting the help he needs. He's out right now trying to figure his stuff out. So yeah, the Hornets are a complete mess, and the Kings need to take advantage of it. And be completely honest.
Absolutely. I mean, no LaMelo. There's no reason why this game should be close. Should be one of those nights where, you take care of it by the fourth quarter. No one should play. You mentioned they got the back-to-back against a really good Orlando team the night before. Just take care of business. There's no reason why this thing should go bad. And, tonight, I think it's a good night for, some of the guys lower down in the rotation to kind of get things going. Maybe tonight's a good opportunity. Give Kevin Huerter 10 shots and let him, maybe work through his shooting slump. Another opportunity for Malik Monk as well. I mean, this is a dude who's facing his former team. He's talked a lot this year about how he was almost out of the league with his time in Charlotte. I think he would probably blame himself more so than the organization for that, but I'm sure there's still some not so friendly feelings about his time there. So yeah, I think tonight is a lot more, less so about De'Aaron and Domas and a lot more about the other guys potentially getting into rhythm and having a big night.
Yeah, if it was, I mean, even we'll see about Terry. If Terry Rozier plays and it just becomes the scary Terry show.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't cover, but you still should win
Absolutely.
either way. So
Absolutely.
that's where I'm at with that. Got to get to a break. When we get back, swipe of the fox, more like snipe of the fox. De'Aaron Fox and his three-point shooting is here to stay. And it's time we respect him as a shooter, not just a mid-range guy and somebody that can get to the hoop. We'll talk about it. We got numbers when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Waiting on the rain. Rain showers arriving after 5 p.m. Could be heavy at times overnight tonight. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Well. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. I promise you, we don't do a ton of victory lapping on this show, which, I think it's because we're humble guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Let our work do the talk.
We let our work do the talk. But here on FanDuel TV, Run It Back, the show with Michelle Beadle.
Do not know the show, but
they got in trouble because Chandler Parsons had something to say about John Morant. Well, Shams Charania is on that show. And Shams, this is 15 minutes ago.
Uh-oh.
Shams says the Knicks will always have interest in Karl Anthony Towns.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, it makes a lot of sense. All the connective tissues make tons of sense. He's a New York, New Jersey guy. He's Kentucky guy, and that Knicks organization, since Leon Rose got in charge, has really brought in. They bring in just guys with the college pedigree.
Right.
You see all the Villanova guys. They had an obsession with the Kentucky guys for a little, whether it was Randall and Quickly and Mitchell Robinson. I don't think went there, but they had a couple different Kentucky guys over there, so that connection makes sense. And Karl Anthony Towns also is a dude who feels like he feels as if he's a bigger star than what he is right now, and I think he would probably very much welcome the New York-ness of what comes with being a Knickerbocker.
Yes. Now they do go on to say that nothing has materialized.
Yeah.
As of yet, but it's something
Sounds like an inevitability, doesn't it?
I mean, right.
They always have it.
Right.
Like Shams doesn't just go out and say that.
Exactly. So we will continue to keep an eye on that and see what else happens. I mean, I know that the Knicks have a lot of, they have a lot of chips that they feel that they can play with, but a lot of people said, well, you use a lot of your assets on OG.
Yeah.
So there's no way you're keeping Julius Randle.
You can't. No, I don't think so. I don't really think it makes a lot of sense. But I think that, if the Knicks, especially like we're hearing, if the Knicks are going to make another move, to your point, with what assets? Because I don't think they're definitely not getting rid of Brunson anytime soon.
No.
I mean, they do have Josh Hart and DiVincenzo, some of the Villanova guys, but that's not going to swing a trade.
Similar guys.
Pretty much the
right.
same
Do
thing.
you need Josh Hart and DiVincenzo?
Probably not. No, I would say not. I think Josh Hart probably does the things you want Dante to do more consistently. I really like Dante DiVincenzo. I think the Kings should have kept him, but I definitely I think that's the most logical move is let's try and, like I said earlier, like you can get something for Julius Randle, whether or not any other team thinks he's the star that Julius Randle thinks he is. Doesn't really matter because you can definitely that's a dude where the numbers speak for itself. He's gonna have a certain level of worth, and if you can get some pieces that'll actually help you contribute towards winning and getting past the second round, I think the Knicks will be better off for it. And you still are the New York Knicks at the end of the day. You could probably get somebody in free agency if you start to build some real momentum.
Yeah, we're already starting to see it, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere anytime soon, especially if the Knicks keep winning. So there you have it, Shams.
Go New York, go New
They
York.
will always have interest in Karl Anthony Towns.
It's like a movie.
It's this is what movies are made of. This is what movies
Can't wait.
are made of. And you see how deep his voice in New York would get incredibly deep.
Yeah.
So I think I need that. I really do think I need that. As we talk about somebody who is also changing the game and changing his game, Swiper the Fox.
Man.
Also known as Sniper the Fox, because
these days
De'Aaron Fox is a better shooter than your favorite player. Unless your favorite player is one of about 3 people in the league. He's shooting it at a ridiculous clip right now.
Insane. It just it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. I've been trying to make it make sense, and it's just ridiculous. Like the leap from last year to this year is insane, but just there was no precedent to it. Like, we've seen De'Aaron just kind of slowly improve, and his free throw numbers have gotten a little bit better and a little bit better year after year, but not from becoming a guy who if you're shooting 32% from 3, you're a below average 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
Every single player who is a below average 3-point shooter, you're just hoping, can you be passable? Can you be okay? Can you get to 36, 37%? De'Aaron's at 40 freaking percent on 8.8 threes per game or something like that. Like it's so legit. And then I pulled up some of the deeper 3-point numbers as well. So I mentioned 40% on threes on 8.8 attempts, both are career highs. But then you look at the underlying numbers and they're almost more insane. I heard on the broadcast, Katie mentioned the catch and shoot numbers, 40% on catch and shoots on 3.4 attempts. That's right where you want to be. To me, the most impressive number, pull-ups. The pull-up attempts are on a different level. 25% of his threes are pull-up threes. He's shooting 41.1% on 5.4 attempts on pull-up three-pointers. Those are the toughest ones to take. I also looked yesterday at the leaders in pull-up threes. De'Aaron is, I believe, like 8th in attempts of 8th in attempts of pull-up threes. He has the highest percentage knocking down those pull-up threes. So the fact that he's got it on high volume, but also high efficiency as well. And then one last number for you, wide open threes, the easiest ones, the ones that even I would expect Davion Mitchell to shoot near 40%. De'Aaron Fox on wide open threes this season, 46.2% on 3.3 wide open threes per game. That's like all of those numbers tell me this is legit. This is here to stay. This is not just some hot shooting streak. This is not a flash in the pan. All of those numbers continue to back each other up, and them all being over 40%. It's just insane, and I never thought his game would ever add this level of shooting. It's nuts.
Yeah, this is way more than I think people like you expected and people and everybody.
I would love to give
really,
De'Aaron Fox truth serum, to be honest. I would love to hear him and realistically hear, like, I know you always thought you were a good shooter, but like, come on, bro. 40% on 8 threes.
Right.
Like, what? And you're averaging 30 points per game. Like, we're talking like Steph numbers. Like, these are legitimately Steph Curry numbers. I'm not saying the dude is turned into Steph Curry, but
he's wearing his shoes.
There's just
think about it.
It's not far off. He's going to change his number pretty soon.
Change his number pretty soon, you know? So, look, this opens up the game so much because the type of defenders that you have to put on De'Aaron, that changes as well. I mean, the PNR is a complete nightmare for other teams right now because De'Aaron is still one of, if not the fastest player with the ball in his hands on the court. So you got to respect that always. But then if you drag off, right, he's gonna get you. Yeah. So if you get too close and you say, okay, I'm gonna make sure that he doesn't shoot this one right in my eye, right? Then you get blown by, and you're behind at all times. So I think it's gonna open up the offense, or it already has. And the more he does this, the more he's going to get that recognition. We've talked about De'Aaron and not really having that calling card as far as what is it that he does well, not just on the court, but from a media standpoint, what can kind of be his calling card so that he gets more of that national attention and shooting like this and shooting with no regard. I mean, there's only one Steph and there's only one Damian Lillard, but past that, he's starting to be a little bit more brazen with his shooting.
For sure.
And the confidence is through the roof, and he continues to shoot like this, especially on big stages. We're going to have some of those conversations. He's starting to creep up a couple ladders. I saw him pop up number 8 on one MVP ladder.
Okay.
So we will continue to monitor that. Got to get to a break. When we get back, continuing to talk Kings and their upcoming schedule. This is that easy stretch. Can they take advantage? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m.
on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Welcome the new year with EB Stone, your go-to for indoor gardening success. In 2024, enrich your indoor oasis with EB Stone's Indoor Potting Mix, our best premium blend crafted for vibrant growth. Explore our comprehensive range from soil amendments to fertilizers and find everything your indoor garden craves. Nurture new beginnings, cultivate lush landscapes, and witness your dreams unfold. Cheers to a green and thriving new year with EB Stone, the heartbeat of your indoor garden success. Find a location near you for our products and tips at ebstone.org.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Waco Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85 or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Talking Niners, talking Kings. Kings, Hornets going down tonight. And they better show up, the Kings.
Freaking better. It would be, we were talking about it earlier today on the crosstalk. Would it be the worst loss of the season if they don't show up tonight? It would probably feel like it. I think we would probably leave the game pretty emotionally dejected, and like even if it takes like a game-winning half-court shot or something for the Hornets to win, it would feel like we shouldn't be in this opportunity in the first place. I would still possibly contest that Portland should deserve to be up there. There's really no reason for them to lose to the Blazers the other night.
That's got to be it. I think recency bias is kicking in with the Hornets.
Yeah,
I think because they were missing Scoot, right, or Shaden.
Yeah, they didn't have Shaden Sharp, and they didn't have DeAndre Ayton as well.
Yeah,
so
that's
you can at least say like, at least Portland was at home. There's no reason to if you're the Kings, you shouldn't lose to the Hornets at home.
Yeah.
The last time the Hornets won a game
in general,
was December 8th.
No way, for real?
Yeah,
it's almost been
almost a month.
Yeah, they beat the Hornets December 8th.
Or who they beat?
Or the Raptors.
There you go.
Then they lost to the Heat.
Man, the Raptors are just
they're
they
lost to the Heat twice, and they lost to the Pelicans, and they lost to the Sixers, they lost to the Raptors, they lost to the Pacers, lost to the Nuggets, lost to the Clippers, lost to the Lakers.
Ooh, those are all pretty good teams.
Lost to the Nuggets.
It's a tough stretch.
Tonight they have the Kings.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to keep them down. I mean, this is again another one of those situations where knowing that, you have to come out hot. And I don't mean you have to come out shooting on fire, but you cannot let the Hornets get into rhythm. You cannot, even if the Kings side aren't hitting shots, you need to make it difficult on the Hornets. Even if, this is one of those where seriously, you don't need to play 48 minutes of good defense. If you play, 15, give them a quarter and a half of some real defense. I have a tough time believing that the Hornets would struggle for a quarter and a half and then all of a sudden just find it. I think if you can put them behind the 8 ball early, make them feel down on themselves, make them feel that 11-game losing streak a bit. To me, this game is won in the first 15, 20 minutes.
There's some depressing teams out here this season.
Yeah. I'm glad the Kings aren't one of them.
I mean,
we spent our time.
The Hornets. So just looking at the Nuggets, just to see who the Hornets Nuggets when they played yesterday, you had Miles Bridges with 26, 9 and 5. He's going to get booed a lot.
He better.
Bryce McGowan's
I'm sorry?
with 10 points. Nick Richards with 15 points.
Okay.
Brandon Miller, 15
Okay, I forgot about
points.
Brandon Miller.
Ish Smith, champion.
Wow,
NBA
yeah,
champion.
NBA champ. Put some respect.
Ish Smith. And here's Brendan.
That was their starting lineup?
I'm just doing it based on numbers. I don't know
Okay,
who
I was
started.
like, man, I mean, that's nuts.
Here is Brendan Nunez's boy, PJ Washington, 6 points, 6 rebounds in 26 minutes.
Interesting. Wonder if tonight will be a little bit of a showcase opportunity for him too. Sometimes, even though like a team might not say like, hey, here you go, PJ, starting lineup, all that. PJ might say, look, if I play well tonight, like, maybe Sacramento starts to feel good about me. Maybe, I can just get moved over here, just change situations. I think all that stuff is very, very real.
Who was it? It was a football game. Who was it? It was an NFL game, I think, when the player said, come get me.
Oh, I do remember that.
Come get me.
Yeah, I can't remember what that was, but I remember him saying,
That sounds very Odell.
Oh, it so
Was it
does.
Odell?
That does sound just
Beckham
like
has
Odell.
reportedly been vocal about his desire for the Browns to trade him after the 2019 season. Fox Sports' Jay Glazer has reported on the situation for 2 straight weeks, highlighting the wideouts' unhappiness, saying he's told multiple teams to come get me.
Oh my gosh.
This offseason. That was 2019.
That's
And that
come
worked
get
out.
me. That's with
worked out
PJ
well.
Washington today. Come get me.
That's
Hey,
so funny.
Odell, Super Bowl champion. Odell. He was cooking in that game.
What college, though, Alan?
Too. LSU?
Oh, LSU. All right. You're always just talking about whatever. Never mind.
Yeah. Come get me. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, every time PJ does anything tonight, come get me. Hey, Monty, come get me.
Come get me.
I got
I'm ready.
a nice little puffer vest. Okay.
6 minutes and 26.
Okay.
6 and 6 and 26. Come get me.
That's like, I mean, if you're deep into Kings fandom and you're looking for something to look for when this game is hopefully a 25-point blowout in the middle third, yeah, just take a look at PJ Washington.
Yeah.
Just look how he moves. Just try and imagine, okay, what would this look like if he, like, how mobile is he? Okay, defensively, is he? I think he can be a good rim protector. Are you seeing some things there? So it's going to be a nice little subplot to have in the back of your mind tonight.
Couple games ago against the Suns, Friday, December 29th, PJ Washington, 28 minutes, 13 points, 4 boards, 4 assists. Come get me. Come get me. I'm waiting.
Yeah, that's that kind of performance. That's not quite of a come get me. That's
Terry Rozier, 42 points. Someone come get Scary Terry.
He's the one who you really need to worry. I mean, I could see, Brandon Miller having a good game tonight. He played some games in the Cal Classic and kind of found his game a little bit early there. So maybe there's some comfortability just kind of being in a familiar gym during your rookie season where that's not typically the case. But I mean, yeah, if Scary Terry's not playing tonight, I mean, again, there's absolutely no reason, and there really shouldn't be anybody who scores over 25 if Terry's not out there.
No. 916-339-1140. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Let's get out to Steven, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Steven? Happy New Year. What you got for us?
Happy New Year to both of you gentlemen, man. It's nice to talk to you guys again, man. Real quick, random kind of G-Man related. I just learned over the weekend that he used to be a pit lane reporter for the NHRA and IndyCar racing. And I did not know that. I don't know if you guys knew that. You guys probably did. But I used to be big into drag racing as a kid. And I really never, ever in my life put 2 and 2 together. I just learned that he used to work for the big 4-letter network and they used to do that. So did that for a number of years, called a number of good races. So I don't know if you guys knew that. I just wanted to share that with you guys and the populace. So yeah, dude.
Thank you.
G-Man just doing legendary G-Man things.
That's
man,
what he does. That's what he does. That's literally what he does. He's just a legend. He's just a walking legend, dude. It's insane. It's absolutely crazy. Yes, appreciate that bit of insight, Steven.
There you go, Steven. Yeah, and really, I mean, G-Man, he's had so much to be excited about even this season.
Oh, yeah.
Right? From the 47 points to just kind of experiencing De'Aaron Fox and his rise. We got to get him on the show. We'll
Yes.
talk to
Oh,
him.
yeah.
We'll talk to him. We'll get him on the show and, kind of peel the curtains back for any questions anybody may have, right? And you can hear G-Man tonight as the Kings take on the Hornets right here on the Kings flagship. If I were to guess, and I know it wasn't as much of a players rah-rah meeting, I want to believe that in the year of 2024, the Kings will say enough is enough with these lackadaisical efforts, right? Not to say that they won't lose games, but you got to be competitive. You got to stop just not showing up, and you got Malik Monk. It's funny when I think I've talked about my old boss on this show before, how he knew he would cut people off, right? He was very bad at trying to finish sentences and cutting people off, right? He's very bad at that, but he knew it. Even though he knew it, he would still do it. Maybe he got a little bit better, but he would still do it. And with the Kings now, with Malik Monk being as open as he is, they know that they have not a lazy problem, but they have a problem coming out flat, right? Now, as they say, it's one thing to acknowledge, or that's the first step.
It's the first step.
But now what do you do?
Yeah, no, I mean, I do think it's a big step for them to, and I'm sure Mike Brown's been telling them for as long as he's been telling us that they need some more internal leadership. But I mean, I feel like, I mean, I think that it's hopefully something that just doesn't have to happen. I mean, I think the fact that Malik says that it is laziness as well, I think is really telling to the fact that something we talked about last week. It's not the game plan either. Like it's just the fact that these guys on given nights are giving up, and it we've seen them now, whether it be the Atlanta game or that Golden State game earlier this season. If you play for 48 minutes more times than if you play hard for 48 minutes, more times than not, the game will present itself an opportunity for you to steal it. And too many times it's just felt like they've completely given up. I mean, those 2 New Orleans games and even the 3rd New Orleans game and more so those 2 Houston games, the Clipper game, it feels like when things are spiraling, they just tumble and avalanche. And there's not really any trying to stop it. And even if you can't get the result, I think there's value in just trying to patch together the game and make sure it doesn't become a 25-point loss or something like that. I think that too many times this year, there's just been allowing it to snowball. And I think a lot of that is the internal leadership of just saying, we need to have some pride here. And at the end of the day, I don't care if you're tired. I don't care if we practice. We're all tired. We all can acknowledge we're getting beat right now, but I'm not going to get beat on this play. Like, I just think there's a lot of pride that comes along with that. And hopefully all that's left in 2023.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, more Kings talk as they are on a softer stretch in their schedule. Can they take advantage? Mike, I see ya. We will get to you right after this quick break. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
and local. Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. We will have our Truck Smart Drive of the Week here at 1 o'clock. Our first Truck Smart Drive of the Week of 2024. Still talking Kings. Still talking a little bit of Niners. Have our dog segment at 1:30. Let's get out to Mike, who's been waiting through the break, 916-339-1140. If you want to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Mike? You're on Stiles and Watkins. What you got for us?
Hey, guys. I got a come get me story for you that's old school.
Okay.
I used to work in Hawaii, and we did the Pro Bowl a lot and stuff like that. And I flew from here to Hawaii and sat next to Willie Brown, who was on the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me a story that Terry Bradshaw, when Terry Bradshaw was going through all his stuff with Chuck Knowles at the beginning before they started winning, went to Al Davis and said, please come and get me. Please come and get me. And I laughed, and I goes, is that true? He goes, yeah. And then Terry Bradshaw actually told the story on TV.
Wow.
He did say that. So, and it used to, apparently, according to Willie, that used to happen all the time back in the day because those guys didn't make anything but peanuts anyway. And it was a lot easier to get them.
Wow. That is interesting.
That's incredible.
Could you imagine if Terry Bradshaw had been the quarterback of the Raiders?
Oh, my gosh.
Like, yeah, I know. That exactly. I mean, personally, I like Kenny Stabler better. But nevertheless, that would have been something.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's an old school come get me story.
Yeah, that's a big what if.
No,
right
that
there.
is good stuff. Thank you for that, Mike. Yeah, come get me. And now with social media, right, because was there no tampering back then?
No. Oh, there's no way. There's no way they cared about things like tampering. They were like, please. There's like actual real conflicts going on. We don't care about our football players talking with other
I
organizations.
think it matters if a plumbing company tried to steal one of the players more than the NFL.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Like,
you got to
sir.
come back to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
got to take the family business.
Quit messing around with that leather ball, dude.
Yeah.
You're the best we've ever seen, dude. I've never seen somebody unclog as many toilets as you and that.
You're a hero.
Actually, you know what? Now that you said this kind of combines back for a conversation about the bowl games, because I'm watching TV and there's these bowl games on that I just really couldn't care less about, to be completely honest with you. And like we said, I watched the college football playoffs. I'm not talking about that. So this is what I saw. I have a friend who is a plumber, right?
Okay.
And I'm flipping through. Don't give me that look, Nate. Just hold on here.
I'm just thinking about Joe the plumber. You guys remember that?
just hold on here. Hold on here. So I'm flipping through, and it's not the Ocho, but this is CBS Network.
Oh, gosh.
And what is on?
Don't say like the plumber.
Mario Brothers.
What is on? The Plumbing National Championship.
Oh, my gosh.
What even is that?
It was a whole it was like the
like
trade
a relay
Olympics.
almost. Yeah.
Well, it was a trade Olympics, but this was specifically the Plumbing National Championship. So I looked it up. I sent it off to my friend that's a plumber. I said, dude, you got to do this. Listen to this.
He said, dude, you don't even want to get into politics, dude.
The top 5 qualify for the national championship in Tampa.
Okay.
The top 5. So you
you
turn on the TV and it's just dudes.
Yeah, just plunging away. Yeah.
Just putting together a toilet,
wrenches,
it's all getting put together. The top 5 scoring plumbing competitors from round 2 will qualify for the 2023 U.S. Plumbing Championship.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Where's that held?
Hold on.
Got to be in Vegas.
Hold on. They will receive an all-expense-paid trip to Tampa, Florida, to go head-to-head in a live competition to win their share of $20,000 in cash and prizes.
Their share?
Their share. The competition will be broadcast on CBS Sports Network, highlighting this incredible competition, celebrating the finalists, their skills, and the entire industry.
You probably make more just plumbing.
Just go to work.
Definitely. Especially if you're at that level, dude, you're highly sought after.
Yeah, dude.
916-339-1140. Do you know anyone in the trade championships? Do you know anyone in the plumbing championships? It was really on TV.
That's wild.
I believe you.
That definitely starts to bring up the.
Here you go. I got this for you.
What should classify as a sport?
It's not a sport. So I'm playing this for Chris right now. The recording. There you go.
Says the plumbing national championship.
And they're just in a warehouse.
Is he like putting in insulation?
How do they clog it? They have someone just eat a bunch of Taco Bell
toilets.
Like, what do they do?
They're not just unclogging.
It's sponsored by Taco Bell.
They're putting together.
That's a 2-for-1 right there.
They're putting
dude.
together the whole shebang-a-bang. Plumbing.
It's like, sign me
Jam a
up
bunch
for
of
toilet
paper
clogger,
towels.
please.
Yeah.
I would love the esteemed.
I want my share of the $20,000.
Share of $20,000.
1/500th of the $20,000.
No, but when I was watching, they said, "Hey, we hope that this can, if I win, bring in some more business. You are a championship plumber, right? To your plumbing company."
I just imagine someone on Yelp being like, "Whoa, 2023 United States national champion plumber." Sign me up.
This is way better than the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Now the problem is I actually,
I feel like that would be an excuse to raise prices, which would make
Right.
me less likely to use your service.
Right. Right.
If you're going to say I'm
it's like a Michelin star.
Yeah.
It's a Michelin star for plumbing.
Pretty much.
You got to raise prices. You're
You
not
have
just
to,
this.
yeah.
I'm not just some Joe Schmo plumber.
No.
I'm the
No.
champ.
I'm literally
I got
not
the
just
ring
Joe
to
the
prove
plumber.
it.
I got a piece of $20,000.
If I won this,
I got my share.
I'm taking that share of $20K and I'm getting a ring. I'm getting a championship ring.
Yeah, just waste the money you got.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah,
I would weld it myself.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put a nice little ribbon or something on my truck, on my plumbing car that says, 2023 United
telling
States
you.
national champion.
That's how bad things are right now.
What's
not
up,
great.
Mario
With
and
bowl
Luigi?
games.
Yeah, where are y'all at?
Yeah, where are you at?
That's how bad things are with bowl games right now.
Right. It's gotten that
Toilet
bad.
bowl games.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
That's
It's really
a 2.
not bad.
I'll give that a 2.
That was decent.
I'll give that
I
a
like
2. As we make our way from the toilet back to the Kings.
There you
Oh,
go.
man.
Sure.
Well,
They used to be next door neighbors.
There is no easy transition. Out of that one.
There is none. From plumbing championships to the NBA finals,
Yeah.
we hope that the winner comes out of Sacramento.
Hopefully they get more than
There you go.
a piece of $20,000 too.
Hopefully. There you go. And you have the Kings now really trying to solidify themselves as if okay, there's the play-in now, but really the big thing is, and I think it was before the Heat last season, the lowest seed, and the Heat didn't win the whole thing.
Right.
Wasn't it the Rockets who won as a 6th seed one year?
In terms of the actual finals
the
itself?
actual finals.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that was, I could be way off base here, but I believe it was in the strike shortened season as well. So like records were a little, wonky, if you will.
Sure.
Yeah, I believe that's the lowest seed to ever win. So, I mean, yeah, realistically, if you don't have home court advantage at the very least, you're climbing a very uphill battle.
Yeah. So that's the difference between being taken seriously and that 5 where I believe the Kings they have been.
Yeah, I think they're tied for 5th right now.
That is the line. I don't know if anybody is believing that you can actually get this thing done
Totally.
if you fall under that 4 seed.
Yeah, it'd be tough. At that point, you would obviously have to beat a better team in the first round if you're a 6 seed, and then you don't have home court advantage in that first series. You're not going to have it in the second series, and I don't think I can't remember exactly how they determine, but you're more than likely not going to get home court advantage in any of the rounds, and that's already, especially in basketball, it's kind of the last sport where it feels like home field or home court advantage matters even a little bit. You're just putting yourself behind the 8 ball. And realistically, if you finish the regular season 6th, that means that you had some ups, but you also definitely had some downs, unless you're kind of like a Memphis team or something where you started so far behind and just worked your way all the way up. It feels like if you're a 6 seed, you're probably a pretty flawed team in the first place.
Right. And that's why a lot of people say that the 7-game series actually shows
it's the best, I think.
The best, right?
Yeah.
Because you look at some of the New York Giants and the Eli Manning, those teams that just get hot.
Run.
You can get hot for one game, but getting hot throughout the course of multiple 7-game series, a lot of times isn't the case. It doesn't happen.
Even like 3 games, like Joe Flacco had 3 good games, or even last year in the conference finals, which I know we're seeing one of the Martin twins. I don't know which one. Was it Caleb who
Right.
went crazy last year?
Mhm.
Yeah, it was Caleb who went crazy last year. He was able to do it for like 3 or 4 games, and then you end up seeing, I mean, Boston was the better team.
Yeah.
They turn it at least into 7 games. I think 7's always been the best. I don't know how you feel about the baseball being, because I know the first round is 5 and then the second 7. But to me, the 7-game series, I feel like 99 out of 100 times you'll feel like you got the better team out of that.
Right. Baseball is struggling with the 5-game series and really a whole long season to prove who's the best, and then not feeling like whether it's that 3-game
you got to figure out the home road split too.
It's just a matter of, hey, do we want some random hot team? Do we want the Diamondbacks to go?
Is that actually good for baseball? Best for baseball?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if it's the problem is the inconsistency of the 7-game versus the 5-game. So I think that's the difference in what they're struggling with in baseball. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, we will have our Truck Smart Drive of the Week. See who gets the crown this week when we get back. And we will talk about the Kings' woes when they have back-to-back games. And later on, bowl games. Why do people not care about bowl games anymore? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award?
Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game and high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
You own a truck because you want to get the job done right. Truck Smart is your work truck headquarters. For over 35 years, they've been outfitting trucks for leading construction firms, service providers, and municipalities in the region. Truck racks, toolboxes, lighting, commercial shells, rhino lining, they've got it all. And their expert installers will get it done right the first time. So visit the truck experts at Truck Smart today with locations in Rockland and Auburn. They'll make your truck your favorite tool. TruckSmart.com.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted, ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner.
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and Sactownsports.com. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins. Sactown Sports taking you up to 2 p.m. One more hour with you. First show of the year, 2024.
Yeah, didn't think about that.
Oh, you got to think about
set the
Count
tone.
shows again?
Well, I can restart, I guess. I can restart now if you want me to.
I'm good.
I don't mind.
Chris does, though.
Yeah, his name's on it. I'm just some guy.
Yeah, no, you're the guy, Nate. You are the guy as we take you up to 2 p.m. And it is time for our Truck Smart Drive of the week. Brought to you by Truck Smart, your premium retailer and installer of truck and SUV accessories for over 30 years. Your trucks, gonna love them.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna love it. It's gonna love them. This week, we actually have a theme. I think this is the first time we've done Truck Smart and actually don't have a Niner clip involved. It was just a pretty easy win. No real high-stakes drives for the Niners, so couldn't really shoehorn any in. But there is a theme this week, and that is game winners, or at least we thought. And of course, for everybody who tuned in, we're going to start with the highest profile of all of those from this weekend, and that was the Detroit Lions taking on the Dallas Cowboys, two of the top teams in the NFC. And I mean, the Cowboys, to their credit, they played really well. They had the 20-13 lead, and then the Lions found a touchdown drive in the last moments of the game, and they went for broke. They said, forget it. We're in this situation, down one right now. We could kick the field goal, go to overtime, but instead they decided to go for two, and here's how it sounded.
Play action. End zone. There it is!
Oh, Joe Buck got a little excited there. But it was an exciting play, so it makes sense. And the Detroit Lions win that game easy, and actually, that's not at all what happened, because as Nate said, Nate didn't learn until later that day because he was watching the game without sound, but controversy ensues. Apparently, the Lions didn't check with the line judge to make sure that the tackle was eligible, so they then have to replay the 2-point conversion, and this is how that went.
Goff gets rid of it. Incomplete! And now the Cowboys maintain their lead.
Oh boy, is the NFL rigged? I don't know, but that definitely was not a good look for anybody really on Sunday. Not great.
No, it wasn't. And then you see the video of 3 linemen with number 68 talking to the ref, and the ref,
I think Jared Goff even sent him over.
Right, Jared Goff sent him over. I don't know how they can't keep getting away with this. Well, Jerry Jones can. Jones can. He called it in. He said, we got
Buffalo Wild Wings. He was like, no.
We're gonna have to redo that one.
Yeah, we're gonna need a replay.
That was a bad look.
It's not great. It's really not great. And, even me as an NFC North supporter, even I would hate to see, the Lions have been a really good story this year. It's finally happening for them after just years of wallowing around in sadness. They're a legitimate NFC contender, and to have that game kind of ripped away from them kind of sucks, because if I'm not mistaken, that could have given them at least a couple home field games in Detroit. And now I think the Cowboys hold that number 2 seed. So
not only that, they'd be in contention for the 1 seed right now.
Would they really? I guess so, right?
Yeah. So the tiebreaker the Niners have over them is the conference 7-3 versus 9-1 or whatever. So
interesting. Well, that has a lot of ramifications.
Would have had to
win, I think.
Yes,
right?
They would have had to beat the Rams.
Yeah.
But they still
not great.
Shoulda, coulda.
Yeah, shoulda, coulda, which is, again, the theme of this week. This one is a actual game winner coming from Philadelphia. The unexpected Arizona Cardinals make a trip into Philly. What? And absolutely don't disappoint. I mean, you could argue that the Cardinals just went in there and absolutely dominated the Eagles. I think they had they dominated the time of possession. You look at the rush yards, just absolutely dominated them in that facet. And even still, as the Eagles have done all season long, made it a really close game. Had to come down to one final drive with the Cardinals driving with under a minute to go. They give the ball to James Conner. Here's how it sounded.
On 2nd and goal, Conner again, nose down, he's in for the Cardinal touchdown. Arizona takes the lead with 32 seconds left.
It's just absolutely insane.
Bluebirds were out.
It should be. That's the Cardinals' 4th win of the season. They moved to 4-12. It's only their 2nd road win of the year. And that just capped off a 7-play, 70-yard drive with, and it only took them 2 minutes. They just, again, they handed it to the Eagles. As crazy as it is, I'm looking at the total yards. Arizona 449, Philadelphia 275. My goodness, not great. We're gonna have to ask our guy Draper about how he's feeling about the his Eagles these days.
It can't be good.
Can't be great.
It can't be good.
Can't be great. And to wrap up the woulda, coulda, shoulda weekend that was, how about this one? This one flew under my radar. Actually didn't see this until yesterday. Saw the highlight of it. As we were talking about the Rams earlier, the Rams did clinch a playoff spot with the win. However, it got a little bit dicey there as the Rams kicked the ball over to the Giants with about 3 minutes left and a 1-score lead. And then exactly what you don't want to happen happens. And here's how that sounded.
By Fink Martindale again. Olszewski from the 6-yard line. Has a little bit of room in front of him. Out to the 20. And going to be breaking tackles. He's still on his feet. Olszewski looked like he was going down, and he may take it all the way. Olszewski to the house. No flags.
Wow. That made it a 1-point game again with like 3.5 minutes to go. Giants have had a super disappointing season after making the playoffs last year. Finally get something good to go for them. And you know what? Again, they make the similar decision that Dan Campbell made. They said, you know what? I think they got an offsides on the extra point attempt. They said, forget it. We're in this situation. We ain't got nothing to lose. Let's go for 2. And you know what? It almost worked out. Almost. Here's the
momentum. It's Taylor to throw. Barkley's open. Barkley was wide open. It was going to be a walk-in 2, and Taylor can't believe it.
Oh, my gosh. Just because it's the drive of the week doesn't mean it has to be a positive one.
Tyrod.
Our guy, Tyrod. He played so well. He had like the nicest deep ball I think I saw all weekend.
Oh, yeah.
It was sick. I mean, he threw it on a dime. And literally, I mean, if you haven't seen the play yet, you should watch this 2-point conversion. I mean, Saquon Tyrod Taylor honestly maybe could have walked into the end zone, decided to kind of shovel pass it to Saquon and just threw it like 2 steps behind him. And that's how you lose. That's how you lose the game. Hate to see it for the Giants. And like I said, it pretty much ended up clinching the Rams a playoff spot. So definitely a big swing of events there. and just a big woulda, coulda, shoulda of a weekend. Wow. And I don't know if we are we feeling anything. Any of those drives feel worse? I guess this week is a weird one where it's like which one was the worst?
Right. Well, the Joe Buck one where he
got
voice,
real excited.
Yeah. I'll probably go with that one.
Let's just double check that real quick.
Yeah, let's.
There it is, man.
Oh my gosh. Troy was probably like, bro, why? Yeah. Relax. Okay. The Cowboys are my squad. All right. Relax with
Didn't they honor? They had the Jimmy Johnson thing at halftime too in that game.
Yeah.
A real emotional game.
Yeah.
Very emotional game. There another reason why, especially with the back and forth between Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson, Jerry wasn't losing that game in front with Jimmy in there.
Oh, there it is.
So that's my pick.
All right. I'm going to go James Conner. I mean, the Eagles losing is just absolutely embarrassing. James Conner had a really good post-game interview as well. I'm going to give it to James Conner.
Yeah, I like that one as well. We want to hear it again, Nate? You got it?
Yeah, I like that one too. And I think the Niners players really liked it as
well.
Yeah,
they loved it.
They were watching it.
Oh, that was such a great clip.
Yeah, it was awesome. Kyle Juszczyk was going crazy.
On second and goal, Conner again, nose down, he's in for the Cardinal touchdown. Arizona takes the lead with 32 seconds left.
Just have some pride.
Boos are wild.
I mean, Sirianni, he just doesn't seem to be an X's and O's guy.
He yelled at the Chiefs crowd that one week, and it's been all bad ever since.
You know, he can get you riled up, and I'm sure players like him, but or I don't know if it's a personnel. I don't know what it is, but it's not a good look.
It's not great.
I don't think they'll get rid of him, but
can I ask you guys this is definitely not on the rundown, and I don't know if anyone's even going to talk about it today, but it's a conversation that's gone on in our Kings media, but also I think in media in general, when we talking old and new media, the video of the Niners finding or watching that Eagles game and the end of it was on Mike Silver, who's, been with written for the NFL and now writes for the Chronicle. Do you guys have an issue with that? Like, I think there was a bit of, this looks a little fanny. Like, should a journalist, should a media member be, I think when the Cardinals celebrated, Mike Silver might have dapped up Debo or like hit him on the back or something.
Were they watching it? Because were they watching it with him?
It was Kittle.
Someone was watching on the phone,
Debo,
right?
and
then
it might have been Ayuk as well. Yeah, they watched it outside of the locker room on Mike Silver's phone,
right?
And then there was a TV I saw in the who they play the opposing locker room,
Washington.
Yeah,
it was a small TV,
really like an old we're gonna roll out the cart TV.
Not surprising.
No,
I don't think I have a problem with it.
I thought it was a unique look. I thought it was cool, but I also could see how people are gonna. And I think I even saw Mike Silver put out a tweet that said, normally don't have rooting interest, but selfishly, even I'll have to admit, like, I'm rooting for the Niners to make it far because that means, I would assume he's just more so thinking for himself. I don't have to leave my family now. Like all the games are going to be in Santa Clara. I won't have to travel.
And he's with the SF. Yeah, he's with the SF Chronicle. So I think it might have been different if you're a national person.
Sure.
But you're with the SF Chronicle. These guys know you. You're probably in every media room. So he writes about the team all the time. So for him, I don't think it's a bad look. If it was a national guy or a national person that, I don't know. Because if it was just a sideline, it wouldn't be a sideline reporter. But I'm just trying to think of another situation.
They have like personal relationships too. I mean, like, look, last week, Mike Brown was making fun of Frankie or whatever for his tweets.
Right. Is Mike Silver's job to be I guess you have to be objective.
It kind of becomes what is a journalist conversation? Like, what is it? Does journalism have to be 100% unbiased? And like, is this breaching on some sort of journalistic integrity?
It's entertainment now.
And I will say, I want to get Mike Silver's exact tweet here. He says, full disclosure, and this is a quote tweet of the video of him watching the game with Debo, Kittle, Ayuk's there, and I think CMC's in the back. He says, full disclosure, for very selfish reasons, I too wanted the Niners to get a first round bye. I don't root for NFL teams, but I do sometimes root for moments this was a fun one. And it is really cool. I mean, again, Mike Silver is like an NFL lifer. Like he's the type of dude you watch, the NFL top 10 countdowns of best Super Bowl moments. Mike Silver is going to be in a handful of those episodes. Like, this is a dude who's definitely paid his worth. I don't think there's any questioning, the level of journalist or his integrity at all. I think it's just an interesting kind of like, I mean, we talk a lot about we won't throw names, but a specific big national writer who is with a big publication, but does lean a lot of his coverage very pro Niners. Like, is it a different conversation if it's him instead of Mike Silver? And I mean, does any of this even matter? Because like Nate said, there are real relationships involved with media, players, coaches, all that stuff that, I don't necessarily think everything has to equal, look what a big fan this guy's being right now.
I have less of a problem in this situation than I do with some of these guys taking it more so to basketball with how everybody wants to break these stories and how you'll have people that are kind of connected to Clutch, but they're national people. So they're able to put out certain stories and put a certain spin on those stories. I think that's way worse than celebrating with the team for this. For the team you cover. Like these guys are supposed to be, these other guys that I'm talking about, they're supposed to be national writers, right? And national personalities.
Completely unbiased.
Right, exactly.
It
but
makes sense if, a guy from whatever, if trying to think of it, if Anthony Slater has a positive Warriors, like that makes sense.
That makes more sense.
You shouldn't have your Wojs, your newsbreakers of the world having any sort of bias.
Exactly. So I could see why a lot of people have feelings about it, but ultimately, I think that if you want these people to look like humans sometimes and to appreciate them as humans, you're going to have both of that.
Yeah.
All right. Got to get to a break. When we get back, we are talking about the Kings trying to do work for the first time and win both games of their back-to-back. We'll also talk a little bit of bowl games and get your thoughts. Did you care? Did you watch this weekend? Is college football in a good spot or is it in a bad one? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and Acura of
Town Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Clutch Points is reporting DeJounte Murray will be in trade talks. Also reporting that, and we knew this was going to happen because I think it was a certain time frame. And once they passed that time frame, his name would come up. Kyle Kuzma's name. And there is a report from Clutch Points that Kyle Kuzma will be made available, which is another, you know what? Can I say something? Because we get on Micah Parsons a lot, and he has, Kyle Kuzma might randomly not have a podcast. I don't think I've seen one, which is surprising. But, dude, put down the phone. I mean, I'm on Twitter all the time, too, but can you stop tweeting for 2 seconds? The guy doesn't stop. He does not stop.
Was there something else besides the Pistons thing? The Pistons thing the other day was so stupid.
It was so bad. It was so bad.
It's like, bro, come on.
And it's like everybody is roasting Devin Booker for his shoes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Don't look great.
No.
And Kuzma just tweets, Book got the hardest shoes out. Just stop.
Just stop, brother.
Just take a breather. Just worry about winning a game.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, December 30th. Raptors went crazy. I like that. He just tweets all the time.
So he's ready for his post-career life is what I'm hearing. He's a podcaster without a podcast.
Right, but he doesn't have a pod, it doesn't seem like.
No, I don't think so.
You know, he's just tweeting all the time. So now I'm imagining that on the Kings, and I just don't think it's a good when your experience is right and the job makes sense, and then they come back and say, yeah, I just don't know if it's a good culture fit.
Yeah.
I don't know that Kyle Kuzma is a good culture fit for the Kings.
It's interesting, especially, I mean, if you're talking about replacing Harrison Barnes with Kyle Kuzma, like it is a pretty 180 when it comes to personalities, right?
Yeah,
like,
that is a big difference.
It just kind of changes the complexion of things, and I don't think, Kuzma's not by all intents and purposes here, it doesn't seem like a bad dude. He's not out clubbing or nothing like that. He's just a dude who's really into fashion, apparently, and likes long sweaters.
Right. The longest.
Yeah. Him and Malik will have a great time just doing the fashion shows or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting fit. I think, he was somebody who was talked about a ton during the offseason. I think it makes sense. But again, just like we were talking with the OG thing, like, is the price that the Kings want to pay, is that even a price that's realistic for other teams? When you see RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley, 2 actual impact players, guys who are, those are 2 of the top 5 or 6 players on the Knicks. Like what are you gonna give up? Like what if you're the Kings again? Like Harrison Barnes, Kevin Huerter, who's struggling worse than he's struggled his entire career, Davion Mitchell, who's got a foot out in Sacramento. It seems like, how is that value? How is that enticing for Kyle Kuzma? What does that do for a Wizards team that has 5 wins this year? I don't think anything.
I don't really think it does anything, and. If you're the Wizards, you kind of want to start from scratch. And that's the thing about this Kings team being young-ish with the emphasis on the ish, because Kevin Huerter at 25, I mean. Okay.
Yeah. He's a Maryland boy, so at least closer to home, I guess. But that's not paying the bills.
No, Harrison Barnes, a bit older, but would it even be a waste of Harrison's talent because that Wizards team is so far gone?
Again, what is he? Harrison Barnes
need Harrison, right?
Harrison
would be good on, dare I say, the Thunder.
Yeah,
somebody like that to, hey, let's, and they seem like they know what they're doing anyway. But a team like that, or the Rockets,
I think
or
the
somebody
Bucks,
like that.
The Rockets, absolutely.
The Wizards,
Miami, no, not the Wizards. Not a team that just.
Dare I say Orlando, something
Orlando
like that.
For sure could use some veteran. Yeah, like a place where he would play but still be able to kind of be that young veteran. Again, we joke the wear the suit guy, I do think that there's real value, especially for really, really young teams, in having that guy. I think, a team like the Spurs, where it's just like, learn how to be a professional, how to act like a professional basketball player, I think goes a long way. I think it's a reason why, you see guys like Garrett Temple still kicking around in the NBA. I'm pretty sure Ish Smith has to be a similar story.
Jeff
Green, same thing. Like you can go a long time being a good vet in this league. And there's definitely some value there for him, but a team isn't going to make a move based off of that being the thing that Harrison brings to the team.
No. So
unless you're just trying to, ship off money or something.
That's another name. Would you be interested in maybe some picks for Kyle Kuzma, since the Wizards are probably just trying to get younger at this point?
It makes sense. That makes a little bit more sense. You can throw in some picks, and it's also an Eastern Conference team, so you don't really have to be worried about, that coming back to bite you too often. Like, it's already bad enough the Halliburton talk, but we only have to play him twice a year. If he were in the West, and you might have to do a playoff series against that guy or something like that. So yeah, I think picks are more than okay. You're not really concerned with the Wizards, coming back and biting you in the butt behind later. I think so, but again, it still becomes the question of what do we have that you guys would be interested in? Because as much as we just said, Harrison doesn't really provide value to you or to them. He is the contract that makes the most sense to involve in that deal. You get a good chunk of that money gone. Kyle Kuzma, I think, makes $25 million a year. So even if you didn't throw HB and you did throw Herter in there, you still need another $10 million to kind of bridge the gap and have it make sense. So I don't know. I don't know if the trade's going to be there, which is kind of the common theme with this off or this trade season. But I like the fit. I think Kyle Kuzma is a dude who you could convince him to commit a little bit more on the defensive end. He's long. I mean, when we saw him the other day, I think you and I both said, I did not know Kyle Kuzma's that tall.
Right.
Like he's a legit 6'10", 6'11", it looks like.
Vert?
Super vert.
Definitely.
Because he had Keegan on him.
Yeah. And that's how you could really tell.
And we sat there and said, he is kind of towering over Keegan.
Like kind of a full head tall.
And
like
Keegan is 6'7", right?
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah, that's a guy that you would definitely be interested in. And again, all these guys you're interested in, but what are you willing to give up? That is, like you said, the theme of this trade season. I wonder how much, we got to get to a break, but I wonder how much it matters to make these trades during the season versus after. Because once you're playing and you really, it's got to be so much harder when you're doing this within the season.
For sure, yeah.
And it's
because valuations change mid-game too. Like if Kevin Herter starts getting hot for 4 or 5 straight
Can't touch
games,
him.
like it's just things change so quick.
And that's a good point with Kevin Herter. This might be the time.
It might, because of how poorly he's playing, and I mean, once he starts shooting well again, you still need shooting. You still need shooting on this team, and I think Kevin can still definitely hold some value for these guys. It's just, I mean, while he's not making his shots now, feels like the right time to kind of separate and let him figure it out somewhere else or whatever. But I mean, if he's not going to figure it out here, it's, to me, I mean, I would look to, at the very least, even if it is for one of those smaller moves, if Kevin's not going to figure it out, I do think him and HB are the two that I'm looking at to, even if it is a fringe move, I think those two contracts make the most sense to move on from.
Right. The question is, are you willing to, okay, maybe we could have gotten something else, but we're just going to be happy with this and just move forward. All right. Got to get to a break. When we get back, our dog of the game for the Kings versus the Hornets. We're also talking bowl games. Do you still care, or is college football ruined because of the NIL? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Malik Monk plays here.
Left, goes right, steps back, launches the three. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Paid for by government.com.
The 1878 to 1921 Morgan Silver Dollar, a true American classic and one of the most iconic silver dollar coins in history. It's been 100 years since the last Morgan Silver Dollar coin was struck for circulation. And now, for a limited time only, full pound bags of original U.S. government struck Morgan dollars are being released to the public. That's right. You can own a full pound of 1878 to 1921 classic American Morgan Silver Dollar coins, all in very good collector condition with fully visible dates and mint marks, guaranteed. Call 1-800-473-0864 now to secure collector-grade U.S. Morgan silver dollars by the pound, struck during the Wild West and the Gilded Age. Plus, receive a bonus American Collector's Pack valued at over $25, free with every order. Call 1-800-473-0864 now to secure your full pound bag of Morgan silver dollar coins before they are gone. 1-800-473-0864. That's 1-800-473-0864.
It's my favorite time of the year. Folsom Lake Ford's year-end sell-a-thon with low finance rates, special year-end savings, and zero down deals with approved credit. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters for over 30 years.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of thousands of customers every single day. Learn how you can leverage their reach for your business. Text digital to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text digital to 916-766-5105.
California's largest Sportsman's Expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Buy the latest gear, meet the experts, learn about fishing, hunting, boating, and off-roading. See Toyota's all-new Tacoma. This is the place to discover your next adventure, nearby or around the world. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game and high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. Shout out to Nate Littlefield doing his thing. Thank you, Nate. You've been great all day, as always, as we are taking you up to 2 p.m. Getting ready for the drive, guys, who will get you ready for Kings Hornets. And it is time for the first dog of 2024.
Let's do it.
Now, my question.
Yeah.
Since it's a new year, can I maybe go back?
Nate, what do we want to say?
Nate, let's get the music going.
I feel like it should be a no. I feel like we're still doing you some help here.
Yeah. I think I'm done too.
I mean, if that's where you want to go, I guess we can't stop you at this point.
You think him going to the bench has made him better? Is that your theory?
I don't know.
Can you present an argument? Present an argument, and then me and Chris.
Because I'm not even going to go with him.
Yeah, no.
I'm going with the revenge game. Of Malik Monk.
Ooh. A little humdiddly?
A little humdiddly.
How close do you think he is to getting 6 man?
Every
he's
time
close.
I check, he's top 5 at least.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to be in the conversation, but it's tough. I mean, I saw Jordan Clarkson got a triple-double last night. Tim Hardaway Jr.'s putting up crazy points.
Kyrie needs to come back so Tim Hardaway can do less.
I think it'll be interesting to see if Quickly comes off the bench for Toronto. I saw the other day in his first game he started, but Quickly is someone who's taken a lot of votes away from Malik, and kind of also take, like, there's the Clarkson sixth man where you're really just coming in for buckets, and then there's like the Quickly Monk where those dudes every night are putting up at least 15 and 5 every night. And so if Quickly's kind of out of the race, then I think it helps Malik a lot.
Austin Reeves is a problem. I'm looking here. Sure. I see Austin Reeves, Tim Hardaway. These are all guys with better odds than Malik. Austin Reeves, number 1. Tim Hardaway Jr., number 2. Cole Anthony, number 3, who we'll
Interesting.
get to see him up close and personal tomorrow night. Bogdanovic.
Ooh, yeah, that's good.
And then after that, you have Malik. Then after Malik, you have Emmanuel Quickly, Bobby Portis, Benedict Mathurin, Naz Reid, Norman Powell, Karis LeVert.
Trying to
Jaime
think
Jaquez,
I mean, I'm trying to think of the situation. Like, I don't know if 6th man of the year, do they factor in team success at that point?
You'd have to.
A little bit, right?
You'd
like,
have
you can't
to.
just be coming off the bench for
You're
a crap
cooked. I
team.
mean,
and
yeah,
just
you're
be
just
like,
cooking, but
great. Good for you.
yeah.
Yes.
Now we'll see. I mean, Malik, he keeps doing this. He'll definitely be in that conversation. So that is my dog of the game.
It's a good one. It's a really, really good one. Trying to think where I want to go. I talked earlier about I think it's going to be more of a other guys kind of night. I'm just trying to think which other guy I want to go with. You know what? No, let's not go with another guy. Let's go with Sabonis because, it feels so easy to just kind of overlook him on a night like tonight. Again, thinking about the other guys a lot, but it should also just be a day where it's easy for Doma, like, kind of like what we saw in Portland, where it's like, okay, so they clearly just have no bodies to throw on him. I mean, even in Memphis the other night, he got 20 rebounds, which is, I'm pretty sure, a season high. Just nuts. I'm going to go with Sabonis. I don't think Nick Richards and PJ Washington, and I'm trying to think of the other bigs that Charlotte has. I mean, they just don't really have the big men that would be necessary to slow down Domas. Yeah, Mark Williams is out. Nick Richards is a tall, lanky guy. Can't really bang with Sabonis. PJ Washington is a stick. He's not going to stand a chance. So I'm going to go Sabonis.
There you go.
I'll say
All right.
another triple-double, too.
Another triple-double.
Another one. Easy one. A lower one because he's not going to play in the fourth quarter.
Manny Too Legit from the Sack Chat says Keegan. Got to go with Keegan Murray. Yeah, Keegan, it might be time for a Keegan heater. He's at the 47-pointer. And I feel like he's had 20 since then, but he has been relatively quiet.
Yeah, especially once you drop 47, it just, you're kind of expecting. He had 25 the next game, 13, 21, 20, and then the last 3 games, 5, 9, and 10.
Okay.
So he's definitely due for a big one. I'm looking at his 3-point numbers, too. He is, in his last 3 games, 4 of his last 17 from 3.
And that's a big part of this whole back-to-back thing as well. The inconsistencies when you have a team that shoots so much and at such a high volume. The idea of them being able to, be hot for 2 games back-to-back and the legs are involved. Yeah. That is, I think, another reason why they struggle. The pace that we talked about being, what are they, number 3 in pace? Right?
Yes, in terms of
pace,
miles actually traveled, yeah.
That definitely affects you on the back-to-back, but I don't want to hear it. Exactly. I don't want to hear it, but we can't even talk about the second half of the back-to-back until they take care of business tonight, so good on you. So you have Sabonis, I have Malik. Nate, who do you have?
I'm going to steal your last dog. I'm going to go Trey Lyles.
That's a good one.
I think he's kind of getting into his groove here.
Yeah.
Getting his bag, dare I say.
He's getting into his bag. And the lineups that he gets played with, they have no choice but to let him shoot. Yeah. It's not disrespectful, but everybody is just rotating and the ball just finds itself in Trey's hands. And he's getting, that's the thing, he's getting about at least 3 open threes a game. Right? I'm not saying he's making them, but he's going to get at least 3 open looks a game.
It also seems like maybe for the first time this season, he's 100% healthy.
Yeah.
So everything's clicking with him. So
because what was it?
Paid,
it was his calf that he missed those games for. I mean, that's going to take some time, right?
Yeah, that's annoying.
Okay,
not great.
So Trey Lyles there. I also see from the 209 De'Aaron Fox. Of course, you can always go with De'Aaron Fox. From the 916, you get a call with Alex Len. Okay. I see you working there. And again, from the 916, another call for Keegan Murray. So Keegan, I think we're definitely due either tonight or tomorrow night. Something from Keegan.
Matter of preference here. On nights where you play the Hornets of the world, Do you feel like, let's just say, if you were running a 2K sim and this isn't real, you don't have to think about personalities and all that stuff. Would you rather your stars take care of bad teams and then you need him, or would you rather have your star take a night off like tonight because everyone should be able to kind of get theirs a little, and maybe tonight's a good opportunity for Keegan to lead the load a little bit, and then tomorrow when you're with a more difficult opponent, you lean on your star a little bit much? Or is it the opposite where you say, hey, like, can you, this should be easy for you tonight, Dearon, I'm looking for you to get 40 tonight because it's going to be easier than most nights, and then maybe tomorrow we can, try and we can have your back a little bit more tomorrow where you might need more of a group effort.
I think in a perfect world, it would be that not that they struggled, right? Not that the Stars struggled, but you just kind of deferred a little bit more, and you should still be okay. Because the last thing you want is for De'Aaron to drop 45 tonight, be on a heater. Yeah. Because we know he's not going to do that 2 nights in a row.
Right.
And now you have a
I don't
game.
Know if we know anything at this point.
No, that's true.
I'm not going to say I know anything.
But
with
the
that,
thought
man.
process of the thought process of, man, he was on fire tonight,
right.
And now you got the Magic coming into town. And it's like, well, he just bought out for us last night. It's like, yeah, but you didn't need him.
Right.
You didn't need him to do that, So hopefully,
rather save the tank a little.
Yeah, hopefully it's a lot of others tonight, and the Kings can rest their guys at least somewhat of the fourth quarter and get ready for this back-to-back. Also going to keep an eye on the Magic Warriors game, and we said, if the Warriors took care of business the last time they're in this situation with the Celtics,
I was trying to remember
you were going to have to thank the Warriors, and they did take care of business. They took them to overtime, but it still didn't make a difference.
Yeah.
So,
real quick on the Warriors, I saw they were plus 3,000 to win the title this year, right now. So,
you want to just burn your money?
It's not happening.
Okay, all right.
Just set it on fire.
Unless there's a trade.
Yeah,
and I think they got worse assets than the Kings. I mean, now that we know what the price tag is,
right?
Masai is not picking up the phone for Kuminga and Moody for Pascal.
Mm-mm.
Maybe Caruso.
No. And if I'm making any trades with the Warriors right now, you know what the first thing I'm asking for is? Let's see, it's 2024. Let me get that 2028. Let me get that 2028 first round pick from you, because I can do some math here. And Steph Curry, 36. Okay, I can bank on him probably not being LeBron and not playing while he's 40. Yeah, what's up with that Warriors 2028 first round pick? And then maybe, Kuminga and Moody. Now you have my interest.
And I would do it if I were the Warriors, because I think you gotta get everything out of your superstar. But so we'll see what happens. They recently lost. Who'd they lose to? They lost
the other day.
Yeah, last week they lost to somebody, and it was the Heat. It was the Heat missing Jimmy Butler. Yes. It was the Heat missing Jimmy Butler.
Shout out Jaime Hawkins, by the way.
He's balling.
Just an absolute maniac.
He was taking one pick before Pajemski.
Was he really? Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm. There you go. All right. So got to get to a break real quick here on the Sack Chat. We have Emmy, who says Sasha will have a big night, Sasha Vezenkov. And we have Scooter saying, I'm going to go out on a limb and say HB Harrison Barnes has a big night tonight as well. All right. Got to get to a break. When we get back, continuing to get you ready for Kings Hornets and a little bit more football talk. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf.
It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa
on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive?
Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
This is Jeff Scott. Did you know there's a way to outsmart COVID if you get it? Now, there are medicines that can treat COVID whether or not you've been vaccinated, which is great news, especially if you're over 50. If taken in the first 5 days of having symptoms, COVID medicines can help stop the illness from getting serious. Call the healthcare provider or the statewide COVID hotline at 833-422-4255 to learn more about COVID medicines. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
The first time I tried to quit vaping, I told myself that it was like a mountain that I had to climb over. And once I got to the other side, it would be clear. But I couldn't make it over. What really got me to quit was my little sister. I saw her vaping. So I was back in the mountain, but this time she was up there with me. It's weird what you can do for others that you won't do for yourself.
Every attempt is part of your story to quit for good. Visit Kick It California today at kickitca.org.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install the new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Wonderful, my magic.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube.
Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. 15 more minutes with you. Getting you ready for the drive, guys, with Whitey Gleason and Kyle Draper, who will get you ready for Kings Hornets. We talked a little earlier about college football and bowl season, and a lot of people are complaining about the opt-outs. A lot of people are complaining about the transfer portal. And, you know, this holds a special place in my heart because when I played baseball, there was no transfer portal. And I almost wish that there was, but I think that it goes a lot deeper than people just saying, because I was watching something during the break and Billy Donovan was on a podcast who obviously coached at Florida.
Right.
And the idea that a lot of people say is that it's removing players from competition and it's making it easy for players to run from competition. And the one thing that I would say is that I don't necessarily disagree, but I would say that if you're going to say that, we also need to address the over-recruiting.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And the problem is that these coaches, they have no loyalty to whoever, and they mask it as competition.
Yep.
But you're always looking for the next best thing.
Yeah.
And I think the transfer portal, maybe back in the day, I know they would have scouts flying on planes, things like that. Now you don't even need to do all that. The ability to recruit is so much easier with social media. They're just sending all these kids in. I mean, you see Alabama guys and there's a top five, there's a 5-star, there's a 5-star, there's a 5-star.
Yeah.
So for me, if you're going to say that this is teaching kids to run from competition, we also have to make sure that the competition is realistic.
Yeah,
Right. These coaches aren't cultivating relationships. I saw one guy, was it Virginia Tech? And I reposted it as well, or I believe it was NC State. And the coaches came to him asking, hey, what is it that you want to do? And he said, I want to stay. And because I guess they didn't feel like they saw enough, they told him to enter the transfer portal.
Right.
So I think a lot of this is one-sided.
Totally.
College football, college basketball is a mess. It's a mess right now. And I think that part of the reason that I didn't feel as connected to watch the bowl games was because there is something different than, oh, well, this guy finally got a chance as a junior, or this freshman, they're all transfers.
Yeah.
Right. So I agree that it's tough, but at the same time, unless you're going to put rules in this recruiting, you got to give these kids the same type of freedom, because these coaches are not loyal to them.
Not at all.
They're not letting them, and it's not a matter of, well, so-and-so's not good enough. You're not letting them improve. You're not letting them grow because they're always looking behind their back.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, I think the point that you make about the competition, like people saying like they're running away from competition. Well, competition's helpful if you eventually can get something out of it. But it's like if you're going to Georgia and you're a 4-star and there's 2 5-star guys in front of you, like you're still a Georgia recruit. You're still a guy who got a scholarship to Georgia, but you're never going to play. And so how is it not? I would say it's more beneficial for that kid to take that year of competition and then say, I just went every single day against 5 stars left and right. I was competing left and right. I learned from the 2 guys ahead of me. Now I'm going to go to NC State and I'm going to go and actually put some of that competition to use, because in the past, that dude would just never see the light of day.
Stuck.
I mean, there's guys like the Alabama running backs, Josh Jacobs. It was a plus
mess.
that he wasn't able to play his first 2 or 3 years at Bama. So he was able to have more run in the NFL. And it's the same thing with LSU receivers and, even Alabama receivers for a portion of time. To me, it's just giving kids opportunity. And of course, there's going to be a stray situation here or there where a kid, maybe had an open lane and still decided to transfer on. But I think for the most part, almost universally, this is a lot better for the student athletes. And I feel like, as tends to happen when money gets involved, it feels like that part is, as always, has just kind of been put on the back burner, is what's actually best for these kids. And I think them taking their careers essentially in their own hands is absolutely what's best for them.
Yeah. And I'm just double checking here. And it says, in most cases, this is from fanarch.com, when an athlete decides to transfer from one school to another, they can enter the transfer portal just once during their college careers. This initial transfer is the most common scenario where an athlete decides to leave their current institution and seek opportunities elsewhere. What I think also goes on is if a coach leaves, you're allowed to leave. So there are different rules. But that was also, I believe that was also before. You didn't have to.
That was always the rule, right?
Because I do think there are people that are using this and abusing it. Like, of course, I'm not even. I used to know how to pronounce his name, but after he left Clemson, I decided I just saw him.
Uyunglele,
DJ. He's transferring again.
Now, right? Yeah.
He's transferring now to Florida State. That's his 3rd school.
Interesting, yeah.
Brother. What?
Yeah, to me, you should, because at that point it is free agency. You're no longer actually.
You're just collecting swag. I just want to play in every conference.
Yeah. And that's how you end up with, I think, overall lessening the college product too, because I don't even know if arguably, who was the best quarterback in college football this year in terms of the actual season? Bo Nix. And he was 24, 25 years old.
Yeah.
And that's how you end up with those kind of situations where, if you have, DJ or, and he's transferred 2 different times already, and he's now 24 years old. And that's the predominant, move in college is now almost to be older so you can have success. I don't think that's better for the game of college football either.
No, and he's not even doing anything.
No, it's nothing spectacular. Yeah.
No, I think they were in a bowl game, but it's just, there's always going to be people abusing it.
Yeah.
And they probably need to figure out certain rules.
Right. But then you have the flip side of it. You have Michael Penix, who was 2 seasons at Indiana.
Right.
And he got, I was just reading a Twitter thread from a ton of people who saw Penix at Indiana and were like, this dude was running for his life at Indiana. He had 2 knee surgeries, really just kind of threw off the trajectory of where people thought he was going to go. But then you see him take advantage, put his career in his own hands and say, all right, I chose this really bad situation where I have no offensive line help and I look like a bad quarterback. Let me go to a situation that probably has the best offensive line in college. And you see what he's done at Washington now. The dude probably after yesterday, I think he's going to be a first-round pick. I know before he was kind of projected as a early second. I think that's like the positive side of this transfer portal and stuff is again, these kids putting themselves in the actual best situation to succeed.
Yeah. I think you can change it up a little bit, but unless you're going to do something about the over-recruiting, if you're going to complain about both. Don't just complain about the kids being able to do whatever they want. We already know the coaches leave whenever they feel like it, right? Or they get more money. So just keep the same energy for everybody. And hopefully college football and college sports in general can get back to where there is a sense of familiarity. And, we've seen this kid grow up, or we've seen this kid do this, that. Because now what they're doing is kids are using D2s in small schools basically as JUCOs. Yeah. Right? And just say, I'll go to a D2 just to ball out and then just get recruited to a D1. Yeah. Which is a whole nother situation for Division IIs. And how do you cultivate a program when people are using you, unless you just evolve to that and say, hey guys,
it's part of the plan.
If
right?
you don't,
it's like Kentucky. It's like we're signing up for the one and done.
Right.
Thing,
we're gonna have 2 years of studs and we're gonna have 2 years of walk-ons.
Yep.
Right. And that's basically it. All right. Before we get out of here, last thoughts. This is probably the most aggressive spread that we've seen from the Kings. So the question is, yes or no, going up and down the group. Nate, 16.5. Do the Kings cover?
No, I think they keep it within 10.
Okay.
I'm going to say 15. So I'm going to say no, the Kings don't cover.
Wow. Yeah. This is it. Okay. Fourth quarter, you won't see De'Aaron. Fourth quarter, you won't see Sabonis.
That's different, though.
The Kings will win by 20 points.
Okay. If you're going to beat a 16-point spread, that means, you have to be up by like 25.
Yes.
Because, if you're not going to play anybody in that fourth quarter, there's probably going to be a little bit of, some.
They'll come back a little bit.
Adjustments.
Yeah. Backups play a different game.
They do. They really
do.
There
you go. Yeah. There you go. All right. That's it for us. We are taking you to the Drive guys with Whitey Gleason and Kyle Draper. Be sure to check them out. Listen right now. Stiles and Watkins, thank you to Nate, our guy. And until tomorrow, secure the bag like the beam.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the